Chapter 1952. No wonder you don't have a boyfriend at your age. You don't even know this common sense. Qi Ning, let me tell you, the belt is meant to tie the man down for the rest of his life. Huh? Tie him down for the rest of his life? Qi Ning was dumbfounded. What's with that expression? Pudding was speechless. My dear niece, is it really okay for you to give Suyu a belt? It's a gift from your boyfriend. He's an elder. Isn't it awkward for you to tie him down for the rest of his life? The whole world knows I like handsome Su, but I'm too young. When I grow up, handsome Su will be old. When he was born, I wasn't born. When I was born, he was already old. Pudding even pulled out 2 lines from an ancient poem. Qi Ning was ashamed of herself. Her niece was only 3 years old, but was already a master at flirting. Yeah, age is a big problem, so you should give up on this idea. No, handsome Su is a good man. I can't give him up. Although I'm young and not the right age, there's someone in my family who's suitable for him. If I bring him to my family, I'll tie him down for the rest of his life. Are you talking about me? Qi Ning had a bad feeling about this. It's you. You're finally enlightened, Qin Zhao Zhao, don't be so stubborn, okay? I told you. Su, you and I aren't suitable for each other. What are you talking about? Don't be so stubborn. Besides, Su isn't my cup of tea. You don't even know him, so you're saying he's not your cup of tea. You're insincere. Pudding pouted. Qi Ning, Pudding, you can't joke about this. Even Yulao can't just randomly pull strings, right? Pudding ignored Qi Ning and video called her. Hi, handsome Su. Hi, Pudding. Good girl. I sent you Little Bean's phone number, and you knew it was me? Pudding smiled sweetly. Of course. Your Uncle Su isn't that stupid. What are you doing? I just went out to talk to someone and went back to the company. What about you? I went out with my sister, still in L. Suyu asked with a smile. Pudding nodded. Is LA fun? It's fun, and Auntie and second grandpa treat us very well. As long as you're happy. Did you miss me? Pudding whined. Of course I do. I think about it every day and look forward to it every day. When will you be back? Soon. Daddy and Mommy are coming to Los Angeles to pick us up tonight. The day after tomorrow, we'll go back to Grandpa's house for one more night before leaving. Soon. When you guys come back, I'll treat you guys to a big meal. Suyu smiled at Pudding. But I still have a small wish. Can you promise me? Sure. Suyu would grant any request. He didn't even ask for anything. The extent to which he doted on the twins was second only to their biological father, Qin Shu. I want little Aunt to come back to China with us for a while, but she won't. Help me persuade her. Pudding pointed the camera at Qi Ning. Qi Ning felt extremely awkward. Her eyes were red from crying, and she washed her face. She really didn't have any makeup on. She wasn't pretty at all. Okay. So he was also caught off guard. Hi. He could only awkwardly greet Qi Ning. Qi Ning smiled awkwardly. Hi. If you're not busy, you can come back with them. I can see that they really like you. Hearing Pudding's words, Suyu really did try to persuade Qi Ning. Qi Ning felt even more awkward. Chapter 1953. I have something to do, so I don't have time to go back. Qi Ning replied softly. Annie, are you really going to embarrass handsome Su? Pudding began to argue with Qi Ning. No, it has nothing to do with pride. You little brat. Don't cause trouble, okay? Did you mean what you said to me before? What? Qi Ning was surprised. About how handsome Su is. Pudding said innocently. Ahem. Pudding, can you not say that? Qi Ning coughed violently and didn't even dare to look at Suyu. Don't be shy, Aunt. You're both adults, I understand. What do you understand? Qin Zhao Zhao, if you keep acting like this, I'll really have to talk to your mommy. Hearing Qi Ning's words, Pudding immediately became obedient. Handsome Su, that's all. See you later. Okay, remember to come back soon. Your grandpa misses you. Suyu's eyes were filled with gentleness. After hanging up the video call, Qi Ning immediately picked up Pudding and pressed her down on the bed. Pudding, why did you set me up again? It's so embarrassing. Do you know how embarrassed I was just now? My eyes were red without makeup. So you must have been scared to death. No, you're beautiful. Auntie, you have to be confident. Come on, don't try to get away with it. When your mommy comes back, you can tell her. Hearing Qi Ning bring up this topic again, Pudding immediately gave in. He immediately admitted defeat. Little auntie, we were indeed in the wrong this time. So we sincerely apologize to you. Pudding looked pitiful. You think you can just apologize? You two almost scared me and your grandpa to death. But we didn't go out to play. We did it for handsome Sue's present. Auntie, can you not tell Mommy? We won't do it again. No, I have to teach you a lesson. Qi Ning was determined. Mommy knows we'll be miserable. Last time when I made a mistake, she locked me up. It was dark and damp in my little warehouse. I was scared. Auntie, please, don't make a fuss, okay? Pudding held Qi Ning's hand with tears in her eyes. Swaying left and right, sure enough, Qi Ning was shaken. Auntie, I know you're really worried about us. That's why you're angry and worried. We promise that we won't let you worry about us in the future, okay? But the situation this time is extremely bad. That's why we apologize. Auntie, didn't you make any mistakes when you were young? We are still children. Isn't it normal to be naughty? Auntie, you can't expect too much from us. Besides, every time Mommy scolds us, she doesn't feel good either. This time, we came on vacation to have fun. If the whole family is unhappy because of this, then the gains do not make up for the losses. We won't come again in the future. Pudding pouted. All right, you little vixen, you've successfully brainwashed me. I won't say anything, but I don't know if your second grandpa will tell anyone. Don't worry. Little Bean will handle second grandpa. Pudding smiled. Qi Ning, little brat, you're amazing. You're so scheming at such a young age. TSK. Let's see who dares to marry you when you grow up. You should worry about yourself, Auntie. After all, you're already so big. Then Pudding skipped down the stairs. Qi Ning was left behind with an unconvinced look on her face. That night, Qin Shu and Huomin flew to Los Angeles. Hello, second uncle. Huomin smiled and greeted Qin Shu's second uncle as soon as he walked in. Ah, I haven't seen you for a few years, and you're still the same. You haven't changed at all, Qin Shu's second uncle exclaimed. Second uncle, where are my daughters? Qin Shu was worried about his daughters. He looked around, but didn't see the twins. Chapter 1954. She's upstairs watching cartoons with Qin Ning. Qin Shu's uncle heaved a sigh of relief. He was glad that the twins were fine. Otherwise, how would he explain this to his nephew and niece-in-law? Mian, talk to my uncle first. There are many things you don't know about the company that you can ask. I've been at the headquarters for a long time. I know a lot more than our dad. Okay, I won't stand on ceremony. Huomin replied with a smile. Towards Qin Shu's uncle, Huomin respected him as much as his parents-in-law. The Qin family was indeed suitable for business. In their generation, the two old men were very active in the business world. In this generation, Qin Ning and Qin Shu were also leaders in the financial world and were doing very well. Huomin had always thought that he wasn't suitable for business because he didn't like to socialize. Being a doctor was better. He just needed to focus on treating people. But now, Mian, you've been managing the company well these past few years. You have a good business mind. Uncle, you overestimate me. I don't know much. It's just that my dad and my husband have everything planned out, so I can just follow their instructions. Also, my assistants are very good. I really didn't do it alone. Don't be modest with me. Shu told me that you're talented and smart. No matter what you learn faster than ordinary people. I'm really happy that the Qin family has such an outstanding niece-in-law like you. I'm going to retire soon. You and Shu have to take care of Ning Ning in the future. Uncle, Ning Ning is very good. She's very good. She's been listening to board meetings since she was 13. She knows more than me. I should be the one learning from her. Huomin was very humble. No matter how good Ning Ning is, she's still young. Compared to you guys, she's impatient and doesn't have the calmness and composure. She has to learn from you. There's no rush. Take it slow. Huomin smiled. If you have any objections about the company, you can ask me. Qin Shu's uncle was a workaholic. He would talk about work whenever he didn't like it. Huomin had a lot of things that he didn't understand, so he didn't beat around the bush and directly talked about business with his uncle. At this very moment in the small cinema upstairs, Qin Ning was watching an English cartoon with the twins. When Qin Shu went up, they were watching with great interest. Wow, sis, look at that. It's so pretty. Little Bean danced around. Pudding's face remained calm. Babies, do you like it? Chin Chu walked over and asked with a smile. Wow, Daddy, you're back? Little Bean's reaction was big. She rushed over and hugged Chin Chu. Chin Chu squatted down and Little Bean hugged his neck tightly. Daddy, I miss you so much. Little Bean kissed Chin Chu's handsome left cheek. Qin Ning and Pudding were dumbfounded. He really is a bootlicker. Qin Ning sighed. I didn't wrong her, did I? Look, she's always so hypocritical. Pudding looked at Little Bean proudly. What hypocrisy. Sis, you shouldn't have said that. I really love Daddy. Little Bean refused to admit defeat. Chin Chu smiled and let go of Little Bean. He waved at Pudding and said, Pudding, come here and let Daddy hug you. To his surprise, Pudding crossed her arms and looked down at her father, who was squatting down. She said word by word, Let's not, Daddy. I'm not a child. Don't hug me all the time. Isn't that good? Chin Chu, Chin Ning, haha. Big brother, you're so pitiful. You're despised by your own daughter. Chapter 1955. Little Bean said, Daddy, don't listen to her nonsense. She's just pretending to be cold. Let's ignore her. Let's go. I just found a really good tiramisu. I'll take you to try it. Just like that, Chin Chu followed Little Bean downstairs to the pantry to eat cake. Little Bean finally found a good excuse for her gluttony. In the small theater upstairs, only Chin Ning and Pudding were left sitting side by side. Pudding, you're not likable. If you don't cry, you won't get any candy. Actually, you should learn from Little Bean. It's good that you can act like a spoiled child. Actually, Chin Ning said slowly. Auntie, we're all born as individuals. We don't depend on each other, and naturally, we don't imitate each other. Little Bean is kind by nature and likes to be in a daze and act cute. This is her personality advantage. I can't learn it, and I don't want to learn it. I'm naturally calm and collected. I think this is good. But aren't you afraid that your mommy and daddy will love Little Bean more? After all, she knows how to coax people. Chin Ning deliberately teased her. No, Pudding answered very decisively. Why? It's because we're both daddy and mommy's daughters. They love us equally. Mommy carried us for 10 months and gave birth to us. We're also related to daddy by blood. This is a bond that can never be severed. Even if I'm calm, cold, and arrogant, daddy and mommy still love me equally. I believe that's the case. When Pudding said this, she was full of confidence. She was no longer a little girl. She had transformed into a domineering big sister in minutes. Chin Ning admired her little niece to death. Pudding, you're really not like a 3-year-old child. I even thought that you were reborn or had traveled back in time from ancient times. You're like a demon. Although Chin Ning knew that Pudding was smart and mature, she felt that even an ordinary adult wouldn't be able to understand what she said, let alone a 3-year-old child. Hearing Chin Ning's words, Pudding turned her head and glanced at her auntie's face. Auntie, have you watched too many novels and dramas? Chin Ning, that's not good. It will lower your IQ. Be good. Then Pudding patted Chin Ning's shoulder and said in a serious tone before she turned and went downstairs. Chin Ning was left dumbfounded. That night, Chin Chu's second uncle ordered the kitchen to prepare a very sumptuous Chinese meal. The whole family gathered together to eat dinner. When are you going back? Chin Ning's father asked, looking at Chin Chu and Huomin. I'll go back to my parents' place tomorrow morning and stay there for one more day. After that, I'll go back to China. So soon, big brother, stay a little longer, Chin Ning said reluctantly. Yes, it's rare for your whole family to come back. My brother and sister-in-law love children so much. They must be reluctant to part with you. Second uncle, Mian and I still have a lot of things to take care of, so we can't stay here for too long. There will be plenty of opportunities. We'll come here twice a year, don't worry. Actually, I think you should consider leaving the children here to go to school. Chin Chu's second uncle suggested. School? Chin Chu was slightly surprised. Yes, the education here is the best in the world. The twins can go to kindergarten and elementary school here and then go to a prestigious university, such as Oxford or Stanford. Wouldn't that be great? Otherwise, they'll have to go abroad in the future. Second uncle, but they're still too young. They're only 3 years old. Qin Shu looked down at his daughters, who were eating. Chapter 1956. Yeah, they're too young. We can't bear to let them go. Humin smiled. Dad, you're too much. They're only 3 years old, and you want my brother and sister-in-law to keep them. Who would be willing to do that? Qi Ning thought her father's suggestion was ridiculous. So what? They're very independent. You don't have to worry about them at all. They can even go out on their own. Qin Shu's uncle accidentally let it slip. Humin immediately understood what was going on. He frowned slightly. Go out on their own? The twins' expressions changed, and they immediately turned to Qi Ning for help. Qi Ning didn't want her nieces to leave, so she quickly tried to smooth things over. Oh, it's like this. This morning, they wanted to go out and play. I had something to talk to them about, so I only asked the bodyguards to follow them. I only want to pick them up after I finish talking. You only asked the bodyguards to look after my daughters? Qi Ning, what were you thinking? Qin Shu was unhappy. Qin Shu's uncle immediately realized his slip of the tongue and didn't dare to say anything else. I had no choice. It was a work emergency, so it's fine with the bodyguards following them. Honey, don't be too nervous. Humin smiled and comforted Qin Shu. Little girl, you liar. I'll teach you a lesson later. Qin Shu pointed at Qin Ning with his chopsticks. Qin Ning stuck out her tongue and didn't say anything else. The twins secretly gave Qin Ning a thumbs up, meaning, Annie, you did a great job. After dinner, Qin Shu and Humian sat in the living room with Qin Shu to watch financial advice and discuss the global economy. Qin Ning took the twins upstairs to take a shower. As soon as they entered the bathroom, Qin Ning squatted down to fill the tub with water for the twins. The two little guys stumbled over and stood on either side of Qin Ning. Then, each of them kissed Qin Ning's face. What are you doing? Kissing up to me. Qin Ning smiled at the twins. Little Bean, Andy, you're so nice. Thank goodness you helped us out. Pudding, I'm sorry that you got scolded by Daddy. Oh, it's okay. I love you guys so much that it's okay to be scolded. It's not like it's the first time I've been scolded by your daddy. What's one more time? Qin Ning pinched their cheeks. Anyways, if we let it slip, I'm sure we'll be in big trouble. I noticed that Mommy's face changed when she heard that we went out alone. I was so scared. Little Bean was still in shock as she recalled the scene from before. Haha, so you know fear too. Qin Ning laughed heartily. Of course. My mommy is actually very scary. When she's angry, my daddy is scared out of his wits. Pudding added. That's true. It's scary when someone who doesn't seem to have a temper normally gets angry. Sister-in-law always looks like she's smiling and calm. But when she gets angry, it's scary when the sky falls and the earth shatters. That's right. Pudding gave her a thumbs up and praised her Annie's wit again. All right, cut the crap. Hurry up and come in to take a shower. After the bathwater was ready, Qin Ning helped them take off their clothes and carefully carried them into the bathroom. Thank you for taking care of us these past few days, Andy. When I go back, I'll definitely buy some local specialties and send them to you. Little Bean would definitely use food to express her gratitude. Okay. I'll wait for your specialties. Just don't give me a basket of potatoes. Qin Ning laughed. I won't. After all, international delivery is so expensive. Little Bean pouted. Annie, I still hope that you can find a chance to come back to China and stay for a while. Pudding was still thinking about her auntie and Suyu and kept asking her to come back. Okay, let's not talk about this for now. Hurry up and take a shower. Oh, you guys are leaving tomorrow and my vacation is over. I'm so sad. I don't want to go to work anymore, Qin Ning complained. Downstairs, Humin was chatting when he suddenly changed the topic and asked, Uncle, why did the kids go out alone this morning? Qin Ning's uncle's expression changed slightly when he heard this. He looked very unnatural. Chapter 1957. Oh, nothing. Qin Shu tried to cover it up. Uncle, you can't hide it from us. Just tell us the truth so we don't think too much. Qin Shu looked at Qin Shu and said slowly. It turned out that Huamian became suspicious when her second uncle let it slip at the dinner table. Although Qin Ning tried to smooth things over, Huamin obviously didn't believe her. After spending a few days with Qin Ning, Huamin had a general understanding of her. She was willing to take time off to eat and play with the twins every day. How about you let the kids go out with their bodyguards because of work? There was definitely something fishy going on. Qin Shu and Huamin weren't ordinary people. They were very observant. Seeing that they had all spoken openly, second uncle could only tell the truth. After he told them the whole story, Qin Shu and Huamian's expressions turned serious. I didn't think they'd do something like this, Qin Shu said in a low voice. Huamin bit his lip and didn't say anything. Honey, are you okay? Qin Shu could tell that Huamian wasn't in a good mood, so he put his arm around her shoulders. I'm fine. It's getting late. Let's go back to our room. Then, Huamin and Qin Shu got up. Huamin didn't go back to their room. Instead, he went straight to the bathroom. The two babies were taking a bubble bath inside. Mommy, you're so rude. Why didn't you knock? Little Bean pouted. Are they done? Huamin asked patiently. Almost. What's wrong? Qi Ning turned around. Nothing. Your brother and I miss the kids. After they're done, let them go to our room. Okay, no problem. I'll take them there in a bit. Qi Ning smiled. Huamin glanced at his daughters, closed the bathroom door, and left. Sis, why aren't you saying anything? What are you daydreaming about? Little Bean patted Pudding's shoulder with her chubby little hand. Why do I feel like there's something wrong with Mommy? Pudding was worried. Gosh, you sure like to overthink things. No wonder Mommy always says you worry too much. Can you be more confident? You're not like our Scorpio at all. You're not cool at all. Little Bean complained. Yeah, you're both Scorpio. No wonder you're so black-bellied. Qi Ning suddenly thought of their constellations. By the way, Annie, what's your horoscope? Little Bean asked. I'm an Aries girl, Qi Ning replied. Ha ha ha, you're a big white sheep. No wonder. Little Bean burst into laughter. No wonder what? Qi Ning was confused. She didn't know what was so funny about her niece. Sis, can you tell her what's special about Aries? Little Bean poked Pudding. Pudding finally came back to her senses. She glanced at her auntie and said, I heard that Aries girls have bad tempers and are easily impulsive. You're right. I have a bad temper. I even argued with your second grandpa during the board meeting because of work. I have to tell the difference between right and wrong. Even my own father can't help me. Qi Ning nodded. Aries people are actually very kind. Being impatient is just a characteristic of their personality. They explode when lit, Pudding explained. Mine? Explode when lit? Qi Ning was speechless. At this moment, Little Bean couldn't help but interrupt. Sis, you didn't get to the point. You didn't even say what Aries people like. Pudding, I think it's better not to. She won't be able to take it. What's Aries people like? Hearing Pudding's words, Qi Ning looked at Little Bean curiously. Chapter 1958. Ha ha during the day, and we'll do it at night. Qi Ning, Qi Moo Moo, what nonsense are you talking about? Qi Ning was so angry that her face turned red. To be honest, little Andy, don't you know that Aries is very in love with inside? What? Qi Ning was about to break down. Forget it. You don't even have a boyfriend, so you probably won't understand even if I tell you. Little Bean lowered her head and continued to rub her chubby cheeks. Qi Ning, okay, Little Bean, don't bully Annie. She's still young. Pudding turned her head and said, okay, let's go wash up. We have to greet the Emperor and Empress later. I wonder if they're having fun in New Orleans, Little Bean and Pudding said calmly. Qi Ning felt like she was going crazy because of her nieces. Just one constellation could cause such a big earthquake. Oh my God, if she continued to live with them, she would become a puppy. She would be turned into a Fujoshi. She would be as dirty as she wanted to be. Annie, read more magazines when you're free. Otherwise, when you have a boyfriend, he'll think you're boring. Good luck. Before she left, Little Bean reminded Qi Ning with a heavy tone. Qi Ning felt like she was struck by lightning. Crack. She wasn't prepared for it all. Little Bean, I'm going to tell your mommy that you're so dirty. Qi Ning roared behind her. Calm down, my mommy's used to it. You're the only one who's making a fuss. Little Bean whistled and followed closely behind her sister to her parents' room. Huh? Sis, what's on your mind? Pudding walked slowly with her head down. Little Bean was curious. I still feel like Mommy's not in the right mood. I feel like something's going to happen. She's very nervous. Pudding replied nervously. You're thinking too much. Move, I'll walk in front. If anything happens, I'll cover you and you can run. With that, Little Bean quickly ran in front of her sister. The two of them walked to the door and politely knocked on it. Come in. Huomin's crisp voice came from inside. Mommy, we're here. Little Bean smiled coquettishly as soon as she walked in. Pudding followed her sister cautiously. Qin Shu and Huomin were sitting on the sofa in the bedroom, wearing bathrobes. It was obvious that they had also taken a shower. However, Pudding was even more worried when she saw her parents sitting in a row. You two come here. Huomin beckoned with his finger, his face expressionless. The twins didn't understand what he meant, so they slowly walked over. Pudding cleverly glanced at her daddy's face and found that his eyes were a little serious. Mommy, why are you looking for us? Pudding asked tentatively. Both of you, stretch out your hands first. Huomin said faintly. Mommy, do you have a gift for us? Wow, I knew you and Daddy wouldn't forget about us when you go to New Orleans. Did Uncle Rick buy them for us? Are they food or toys? Little Bean looked very excited. Pudding, on the other hand, was worried. However, the two children still obediently followed Huomin's instructions. Just as they stretched out their chubby little hands, Huomin pulled out a ruler from behind him. Pa! 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 The ruler hit their palms twice. Instantly, the twins were stunned. Mommy, why did you hit us? Little Bean was dumbfounded and felt wronged. Although Qin Shu felt bad, he decided not to interfere with his wife's education of the children. Mommy, you need a reason to hit us. Pudding looked up and stared at Huomin, calmly saying, You want a reason, right? Very well, then let me ask you, whose idea was it to go out alone? Huomin asked sternly. Chapter 1959. Hearing Huomin's words, the twins immediately calmed down. They knew that they had been exposed and that they had underestimated their mommy's intelligence. Huomin didn't fully believe Qin Ning's words. In the end, he learned the whole story from his uncle. The result was that Huomin was furious and the consequences were severe. Don't look at each other. Look at me. Huomin saw the twins secretly looking at each other, as if they were trying to communicate with each other. They were trying to figure out how to deal with their mommy. So, who's going to answer my question? You went out alone without bodyguards, and you didn't let Grandpa and Annie know about it. You even avoided all the surveillance cameras. You caused a huge commotion at home and scared everyone out of their wits. So, who was the one who came up with this idea? Huomin could no longer suppress the anger in her heart, and her voice was tinged with irritation. Yes, ever since she had the babies, she wasn't as calm as before, because the baby would inadvertently do something that would drive you crazy. Honey, calm down. Lower your voice. Don't scare them. Qin Shu couldn't bear to see them like this. Looking at the two little girls with their heads lowered and their lips aggrievedly, Mr. Qin began to surrender. Honey, we agreed that you wouldn't interfere. Huomin tilted his head and glanced at Qin Shu. Yes, I won't interfere. I'm just giving you a friendly reminder. I don't need your reminder. If you can't stand it, you can go out and I'll talk to them, Huomin suggested. Daddy, please don't go. Little Bean was so scared that she immediately begged Qin Shu. She knew too well that with her daddy by her side, she would be emboldened and her sister's situation would be much better. If her daddy went out and they were left alone with their mommy, that would be really scary. I won't go. Qin Shu looked at his daughters with heartache. Pudding was struggling internally. She knew that if she admitted it, she would face her mommy's wrath. This time, it would be worse than the time when she smashed the phone, so the punishment would be crueler. No matter how calm and collected she was still a child, so she would still be afraid. Why aren't you talking? Are you scared? Huomin asked coldly. The twins still lowered their heads, not daring to make a sound. You have 5 seconds to answer my question. Otherwise, I'll take it that it was your idea, and both of you will be punished. Huomin said and started counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Mommy, it was my idea. Hearing this, Qin Shu froze for a second, and so did Huomin, because it was Little Bean who spoke. Pudding also looked at her sister in surprise. She didn't expect her sister to do this. Little Bean, was this your idea? Huomin repeated. Little Bean placed her hands behind her back nervously. She rubbed her hands vigorously. It was obvious that she was very nervous, but she still looked up and said confidently, "It was my idea, Mommy. This isn't like you." Huamin looked at his daughter meaningfully. She knew their personalities too well. Little Bean didn't have any ideas. Most of the time, she followed her sister's footsteps. She would agree to go wherever Pudding wanted to go. Other than being strict about what to eat, Little Bean didn't interfere too much. Obviously, Huamin didn't believe her. Pudding was a bit anxious and said, "Mommy, Little Bean is wrong. This matter is actually..." Chapter 1960. Sis, stop talking. Let's just tell Mommy the truth. I know you want to take care of me because you're my sister, but I have to take responsibility for what I did. I'll just admit it to Mommy. Little Bean looked at Pudding and said slowly. But Pudding seemed to have something else to say. No buts. This is the truth. Little Bean was determined and took the blame. Why did you do that? Don't you know it's dangerous to go out alone? Huamin asked. I thought we'd be fine in the States. After all, those bad guys are in China. Little Bean remembered what her sister said to her before. Nonsense. Do bad guys know where to go? Do you think they won't come here? Do you know how Second Grandpa and Annie would face us if something happened to you? They must be under a lot of pressure. You disappeared for 4 hours and made Second Grandpa call the LAPD. You two are too much. The twins lowered their heads and didn't say anything. I've always thought that you two are friendly children. Even if you're occasionally willful, it's still a child's nature. I can understand and accept it. But this time, I can't agree with and accept your actions. Because you two are selfish. You don't care about other people's feelings. You only think about your own happiness. It's only because your freedom is restricted in the country that you think it's fun and whimsical that you did such a ridiculous thing. Mommy, we're fine, aren't we? Pudding argued. Shut up. Don't tell me you're fine. You're just lucky. If something happened, what would happen to your daddy and me? What would happen to Grandpa and Grandma? What would happen to Uncle Sue? Huamin sounded agitated. Honey, don't be angry. Calm down. Chin Chu patted Huamin's back. He was heartbroken to see her so angry. However, on one side was his daughters and on the other side was his wife. Mommy, we know we're wrong. We're sorry. Little Bean was obedient and apologized immediately. Even if she didn't mean it, she would try to comfort her mother first. She didn't want to get beaten up. However, Pudding didn't accept it. She thought it was a good idea to buy Suyu a gift when they finally went out. Moreover, nothing happened to them. They were fluent in English, and the taxi ride was smooth. It was not as dangerous as Mommy had said. Of course, they were still young and didn't know that Huasiqian had always wanted to harm them. They also didn't know that a terrifying demon like Ian was eyeing their entire family. She only felt that her mommy was too nervous. Is it useful to know that you're wrong? If you cause trouble in the future, such as killing someone, do you think you will be forgiven just by apologizing? Don't you need to take responsibility? Huamin reprimanded with a black face. Honey, it's not that serious. Don't scare them. Chin Chu still couldn't bear it. It's that serious. If we don't teach them a lesson now, what will happen in the future? With that, Huamin raised a ferrule in his hand. Little Bean, Mommy will ask you one last time. This was your idea, wasn't it? Yes, it's me. Little Bean was determined to take the blame. All right, then you have to accept the punishment. With that, Huamin grabbed Little Bean's hands. She started hitting them. From the sound of it, it was obvious that she used a lot of force. She hit each hand 5 times, a total of 10 times. The sound of the ferrule cracking made Chin Chu's heart clench. However, he didn't dare to plead for his daughters. Chapter 1961. Chin Chu knew that if one of them hit and the other spoiled the child, it would be ineffective. Therefore, Chin Chu turned his head away and didn't dare to look. Instantly, Little Bean's hands turned red. Maybe it was because of the pain, but her face turned red. However, she didn't cry this time. She just gritted her teeth and endured it. After the slap, before Huamin could say anything, Pudding burst into tears. She was very sad because she knew that her sister took the blame for her and got hit. It must have hurt a lot. Sis, don't cry. It doesn't hurt. Really, it doesn't hurt. Mommy didn't hit me hard. Little Bean forced a smile, and her eyes turned into crescents. At this moment, Chin Chu's eyes were wet. Huamian almost burst into tears as well. In fact, Chin Chu and Huamin both knew it was Pudding's idea. They just didn't expect Little Bean to admit it. Even though Huamian knew it wasn't Little Bean, she still hit Little Bean hard to make Pudding suffer. Sisters were connected by heart. Plus, they were twins. Pudding seemed to be able to feel Little Bean's pain. "Mommy, it wasn't Little Bean's idea," Pudding cried and said. But Little Bean walked over and covered her mouth. "Mommy, it's over. We know we were wrong. So, can we go now?" "You can go." Pudding stays. "Huh? I said it wasn't Little Bean." "Mommy, why didn't you keep your promise?" Little Bean was a little agitated. "I didn't." "Are you going to hit Little Bean?" "No, I won't hit her. You took all the hits for her." Huamin looked at Little Bean. "Honey, take Little Bean out first. I have something to say to Pudding." "Okay." Chin Chu nodded and picked up Little Bean. "Let's go. Daddy will put the ointment on you." "Daddy, it doesn't hurt. Stay and help Big Sister." Little Bean was a little scared. "Don't worry. If Mommy says I won't hit you, then I won't." Finally, Chin Chu walked out of the door with Little Bean in his arms. Pudding was still crying with her head down. Her tears had already wet her floral dress. Her two neat braids were also a little loose, and she looked very disheveled. "Little Bean, does it hurt?" As soon as Chin Chu carried Little Bean out of the door, he kissed her face lovingly. "Tell me the truth." Little Bean looked at her daddy pitifully. "Of course." Little Bean whispered into Chin Chu's ear. "It hurts a lot. Mommy hit me really hard." "Then why aren't you crying?" "Because I'm afraid that if I cry, you'll feel bad," Little Bean said sensibly. Hearing this, Chin Chu felt very uncomfortable. His daughter was only 3 years old. She only thought so much. Besides, Little Bean looked like a silly little girl who only knew how to flatter and act cute. No one would have thought that she would be so sensible and considerate of her sister. "Little Bean, Daddy wants to ask you. This was your sister's idea. Why did you say it was you? Don't you know that you'll be beaten if you say it?" Chin Chu was also very curious. He wanted to know what Little Bean was thinking. "I know. I'm mentally prepared." Little Bean nodded. "Then why did you admit it for your sister?" "Because Mommy already punished her last time when she made a mistake. If I punish her again this time, I'm afraid she'll be sad, scared, and even traumatized. She'll think that Mommy doesn't love her." After Little Bean said this, Chin Chu's tears fell down. He really couldn't control it. "What about you? Won't you be scared, sad, or traumatized?" Chin Chu hugged his daughter tightly. "I'm fine. My heart is bigger than my sister's. She's more introverted, so I'm a little worried. These are all superficial wounds. She'll be fine in a few days." "Daddy, why are you crying?" "Don't cry. You won't be handsome if you cry." Little Bean wiped away Chin Chu's tears as she spoke. It was very heartwarming. Inside the room, Huamin looked at Little Bean with a heavy heart and said in a serious tone, "Little Bean, don't you want to say something to Mommy?" Chapter 1962. "Mommy, it wasn't Pudding's idea. It was my idea," Pudding said between sobs. "Really? Then why didn't you tell me when I asked you?" Huamin stared at Pudding and asked, word for word. "That's because—" Pudding bit her lip as if she couldn't bring herself to say it. "Because you're scared? You're scared that you'll be punished for taking blame?" Pudding nodded. "Then you didn't think that Pudding would take the blame for you and receive the same punishment?" "I didn't think that Pudding would say that, so I was very surprised. By the time I wanted to explain, it was too late. In the end, it's because you're scared that you don't dare to admit it. But Pudding, why didn't you feel scared when you got into trouble?" "Mommy, to be honest, I don't think I got into trouble. I went out for a reason, not because I wanted to have fun. I went out to buy gifts for her." Before Pudding could finish, Huamin angrily interrupted her. "Shut up. I don't want to hear your excuses. No matter what the reason is, you're in the wrong. Your selfish behavior brought a lot of trouble to your aunt and grandpa. Luckily, nothing happened, or else it would have been too late. Pudding, I always thought that you were the mature and stable one between the two of you, just like your daddy. But this time, you disappointed me. Your arrogance is only because you're willful, your princess syndrome, and your little temper. You don't have your daddy's sense of responsibility and responsibility. Your daddy always thinks about his family and mommy, but you always put yourself first. You even let Pudding take the blame for you. Pudding may seem like a little foodie and heartless, but when the time comes, she's more responsible than you are. She's mommy's daughter, not a coward like you. A troublemaker who makes trouble for her own sister. Mommy, I didn't want to do that. Pudding was very sad when she heard her mommy's harsh words, so she tried to explain herself. I know you understand everything, but you just won't listen to me. Are you trying to rebel now? No, Mommy, I just wanted to go out and buy gifts. I didn't think too much about it. I didn't know that second Grandpa and little Annie were scared to death. If I knew they were in that state, I would never do that. Pudding, in this world, everyone has to be responsible for their mistakes. You can't let it go just because you said I was wrong and I apologized. It's not scary when people make mistakes. It's scary when they don't want to take responsibility. Actually, no matter how big the mistake is, as long as you're willing to admit it and atone for it, tomorrow will be a new day. I hope this time you've really grown up and become more sensible. Seeing that little bean took a beating for you. I hope you can think things through. That's all. You can leave now. Mommy, Pudding seemed to want to say something to Huamin and kept crying. Get out. Huamin's tone was rather unfriendly. Pudding was crying as she walked out. Ning knew that the twins were being interrogated and was so scared that she immediately came to save the situation. However, Pudding didn't say a word and kept walking back to her room with her head down. Chu happened to run into Pudding, who was in a mess. Pudding, are you okay? Ning was worried. Chapter 1963. It's okay, Andy. Don't worry. Pudding held back her tears, opened the door, and slammed it shut. Pudding, open the door. I have something to talk to you about. Auntie, go to sleep. I'm tired. Pudding refused to open the door. Ning had no choice but to go downstairs and watch as Chu applied ointment on Pudding's hands. Oh my God, did your mommy hit you? Ning exclaimed as she looked at Pudding's red and swollen hands. Pudding nodded with tears in her eyes. I'm sorry, Pudding. Your grandpa betrayed you by accident. I already taught him a lesson. Ning was just complaining about her dad. How could he betray the two kids? Chu's uncle looked helpless. Of course, he didn't want to, but his niece-in-law was too smart and couldn't be fooled. It's not Grandpa's fault. Mommy's so smart. These things can't be hidden from her. Pudding was very open-minded. Big brother, let me apply the ointment. Ning squatted down. Chu carefully applied the ointment on Pudding's hands. It's okay. I'll do it. When it came to taking care of his daughter, he didn't trust anyone but himself. Why don't you go check on Pudding? I think she's not in a good mood. She just went back to her room and cried. Pudding doesn't need to be comforted. She's introverted. She'll figure it out. Chu wasn't worried about Pudding. Instead, he was worried about Pudding. The family stayed up until late. When Pudding was very sleepy, Chu carried her upstairs. When he carried Pudding back, she was still awake. She sat alone in her room. Her eyes were red from crying. She looked like a little rabbit. Pudding, Chu called. She turned her head. Your sister is asleep. She's hurt today. You have to take good care of her, okay? Chu's voice was very gentle. Okay. Pudding nodded. Then you guys go to bed early. We're flying to Grandpa's house tomorrow. Okay, Daddy. Good girl. Chu hugged Pudding, kissed her cheek, and turned to leave. Daddy, Chu turned his head, his voice very soft. I'm sorry about what happened today. It's okay. You're Daddy's daughter. No matter what you do, Daddy will forgive you. Also, your mommy loves you very much. That's why she loves you so much. Don't blame her. Mommy's right. She's right. I was too stubborn. I almost got into trouble again and even made little sister suffer for me. Daddy, even I looked down on myself. Mommy's right. I inherited your arrogance and calmness, but I didn't inherit your sense of responsibility and responsibility. This time, I've embarrassed Daddy. No, Daddy doesn't think so. Chu comforted Pudding. I won't be so disobedient in the future. After returning home, I'll perform well and strive not to disappoint Mommy and Daddy. Pudding thought for a whole night and reflected a lot. She seemed to have made up her mind to perform well. This time, the fact that Little Bean got beaten up because of her was a huge blow to her. It made her accept many things. Okay, Daddy looks forward to your best performance. Then, Qin Chu walked out of the twins' room and returned to his own room. As soon as he entered the room, he saw Huamin sitting on the bay window, wearing one of his loose white shirts. Her smooth and white thighs were exposed. She was very sexy and different from her usual style. Most importantly, she had a cigarette in her mouth. Every time Huamin smoked, she was extremely depressed. Qin Chu understood. Honey, are you smoking again? Qin Chu walked over, pulled the cigarette out of her mouth, and pressed it into the ashtray. I suddenly feel like I'm a failure. Huamin was a little depressed. Why would you say that? Qin Chu sat behind her and let her whole body lean against his chest. Chapter 1964. I just realized how much of a failure I am. As a daughter, I'm not good enough. I've been causing trouble for the family since I was a kid, and I've never had a peaceful life. Luckily, Mom never really blamed me. Sometimes, Jixin even worries about me. As a wife, I'm not gentle and virtuous either. I don't understand you. I can't think for you, and I always cause trouble for you. As a daughter-in-law, I don't take care of my in-laws. As a mother, I'm even more of a failure. The twins have been mature since they were little, but I've been too busy with work to guide them. I always thought my daughters were good enough, but today I realize that I've raised Pudding to be an egomaniac. She's even a little selfish and Little Bean to be a glutton. They don't even know how to protect themselves. Honey, you can't say that. As a daughter, you've done so much for the family. You've worked hard and earned money to bring a stable life to your mother and brother. As a wife, you've always done so much for the family. Even when you were pregnant and had a child, you did it all by yourself. You've always had me in your heart. As a daughter-in-law, you've done so much for Mom and Dad. When I was in prison, you ran between the family and the company to comfort them. You worked so hard to give birth to a pair of cute granddaughters for them. As a mother, you've set enough examples. You can't expect too much from them because they're only 3 years old. Even if they're mature and smart, they're still very, very young. We have to guide them step by step, and we need a lot of patience. We can't deny them because of one mistake. Honey, do you think I'm being too unreasonable? No, I understand your uneasiness. Honey, you've worked too hard. Leave everything to me when you come back to China. You don't have to go to work anymore. So, are you going to fire me? Huamin turned around and looked at Qin Chu pitifully. No, I'm going to give you a vacation. Spend a few days with the twins, and then what? Huamin leaned into Qin Chu's arms and looked up at his almost perfect profile. And then you'll go back to work at Southside, right? Back to Southside? Huamin's jaw dropped in surprise. I've talked to President Wu, and Southside happens to be shorthanded. If you go back, not only will you be reinstated as the chief physician of the Department of Neurology, but you'll also be the deputy director. Huamin, don't you think it's just right for me to be a CEO and you to be a doctor? I miss the old days. Honey, although we were busy, our lives were very fulfilling. Honey, you're the big boss of GK headquarters. Don't you think it's beneath you to come back to China to work? Huamin whined. No, protecting my wife and child is my greatest happiness. Money and power have nothing to do with me. Qin Chu said it casually, but Huamin was very excited. Being a doctor was her greatest hobby. She never dared to think that she would be able to return to the hospital one day. What a wonderful experience that would be. But her husband had silently arranged everything for her. Honey, thank you. Thank you for always silently arranging everything for me. At this moment, Huamin was filled with happiness. With a husband like this, what else could she ask for in her life? Because you're Huamin, everything I do for you is worth it. Just as Qin Chu said before, because of the weight of the 2 words Huamin, he was willing to do anything for her. The next morning, the family of 4 was ready to fly to Hawaii. Before they left, the twins and Qin Ning were reluctant to leave. Auntie, are you really not coming back to China with us? Pudding looked at Qin Ning sadly. Chapter 1965. I'm not going back. Annie still has a lot of work to do. Qin Ning smiled. Grandpa, are you bullying Annie and giving her a lot of work? Little Bean looked at Grandpa Chin and said coquettishly, Hey, your Annie's status in the family is like an ancestor. She has the highest status in the family after you two. Do you think I dare to bully her? Chin Chu's uncle was speechless. Compared to work, the most important thing for a girl is to find a good man to marry. So, Auntie, you have to make marriage your top priority. Little Bean said seriously. Okay, you two sly little girls. My ears are going to grow calluses from your words. Hurry up and go. Don't talk too much. It's hard for a girl to find a boyfriend if she talks too much. Plus, you two are big scorpions, don't act like Virgos. Chin Ning smiled and squatted down to kiss her two nieces. After reluctantly saying goodbye to their auntie and grandpa, the two babies got into the car first. Uncle, you have to take care of yourself. Don't tire yourself out. You don't have to deal with the company yourself. Just leave it to Ning Ning, Chin Chu said. I know. Your dad always tells me that at my age, it's time for me to retire. Chin Chu's uncle smiled. Sis-in-law, you have to bring the twins here often. I miss them so much. Chin Ning said with tears in her eyes. After a few days of being together, she really liked the twins. Now that they were leaving, she felt like she had been blinded. That feeling was really hard to bear. I will. Ning Ning, you can go back and play when you're not busy. MHM for sure. Maybe one day I'll fly over and find you guys. Ha! Chin Ning smiled and held back her tears. Chin Chu and Huomin got into the Bentley and watched the car drive away. Chin Ning couldn't help but cry. How old are you? Why are you crying? Chin Ning's father turned around and comforted his daughter. I miss my nieces so much. Chin Ning smiled with tears in her eyes. That night, the family of four went back to Hawaii to reunite with their grandparents. The next morning, the family of four flew back to China and stopped in Jing City. The long-distance flight was indeed very tiring. The twins were no longer as excited as they were at the beginning. Most of the time, other than eating and going to the bathroom, I slept. Chin Chu took care of one adult and two children by himself, for fear that they would catch a cold if they slept in the air conditioner. Therefore, she didn't sleep much and had been taking care of the mother and daughters. Finally, the plane landed in Sea City. Huomin stretched and straightened her body. Ah, I'm finally home. President Hua, how do you feel? Chin Chu turned to look at her. It feels great to be home. Nothing is as good as home. Nothing is as good as home, Huomian exclaimed with a smile. Honey, you're too humble. If your South Hill Manor is a doghouse, how are other people going to live? They can't even live in a doghouse. Chin Chu teased her. You're right, honey. What I mean is, nowhere is as good as home. Actually, now that I think about it, I miss our home in Imperial Park. That was our first house. Huomin smiled sweetly. That's easy. We'll continue to buy houses and stay there for a few days occasionally, Chin Chu suggested. Forget it, it's not just the two of us anymore. We have two more clowns. Huomian felt a heavy burden on her shoulders at the thought of the twins. So, President Hua, how was your trip this time? Do you have any thoughts? Chin Chu massaged Hua Min's shoulders. I had a lot of fun, but there's one small regret. Huomin pouted and said after thinking for a moment. Oh, you have a regret? Tell me. Chin Chu was slightly surprised. Chapter 1966. Xiao Xue is in Chicago, and I haven't visited her and the kids yet. It's a shame that she invited me twice and kept calling me. The problem is that we're in a rush. Mom and Dad don't want the kids to leave either. It seems like we'll have to stay longer next time. Don't worry. We'll visit the States more often. Chin Chu patted the back of Huomin's hand. Huomin tilted his head and looked at the two kids sleeping like pigs on the first-class seats. Pudding tilted her head and drooled. She was even snoring like a pig. She was so cute. Chin Chu was about to wake them up when Huomin stopped him. Wait, honey, don't wake them up yet. Why? I want to record a short video for them. Chin Chu was speechless. You're cheating your kids, Mommy. Chin Chu was speechless. Huomin took out his phone and recorded a short video for his daughters. He was already imagining how they would react when they saw him like this. After the plane landed, the crew announced that they were getting off the plane. Chin Chu unbuckled his seatbelt and carefully woke the twins up. Babies, we're home. Wake up. Chin Chu's voice was extremely gentle. Huamin was jealous. Honey, you've never woken me up so gently. Yeah, I usually prove it to you with my actions. Chin Chu smiled. Huamin immediately blushed. You're acting like a pervert in broad daylight again. Hurry up and wake the babies up. The first thing we need to do when we get home is jet lag. It's so painful, Chin Chu reminded him. Huamin walked over, and the bodyguards helped him push a lot of luggage. Huamin and Chin Chu each carried the kids out of the airport. Daddy, are we home? Putting open her eyes and asked sleepily. Yeah, are you happy? I'm happy. Why? Chin Chu asked with a smile. Because I can see handsome Sue. Little Bean didn't lie at all. Chin Chu was speechless. Okay. It seemed like her father was used to his daughter being obsessed with Suyu. Huamin held Little Bean in his arms and looked at the doll's hand with heartache. Although it was much better, there were still some marks left by the ferrule. Little Bean, does it still hurt? It doesn't hurt. Really? Really? Don't worry, Mommy. I'm Hercules. This little injury is nothing. Then, do you hate Mom in your heart? Huamin bit her lip. Her heart was filled with guilt. No, I love Mommy as always. Even if Mommy hits you, you'll forgive Mommy, right? Huamin asked again and again like a child. That's right. Even if Mommy hits me, I'll still forgive Mommy because Mommy didn't want it to happen. We were disobedient. Mommy taught us how to be a good person, so I won't blame Mommy. Not only me, but Sis won't either. Good girl. Mommy knows. Thank you for your understanding. Hearing the gluttonous Little Bean say such words, Huamin was very touched. Suddenly, Little Bean said, Mommy, I want to pee. She suddenly felt like she couldn't hold it in. Huamin immediately put her down and looked around. The bathroom is over there. Mommy will take you there. Mommy, I want to go too. Pudding also wanted to pee and wanted to go. Chapter 1967. Chin Chu glanced at the bodyguards behind him. You guys go ahead and wait for us at the door. We'll take the kids to the washroom first. Okay, Mr. Chin. The bodyguards walked out of the door with their luggage. Chin Chu and Huamin held the twins' hands and went to the washroom. I'll wait for you guys at the door. Chin Chu stopped at the door of the women's washroom. Huamin nodded and walked in with the twins. The twins could take care of themselves and knew how to pee. After Huamin went in, he went to the washroom first and waited at the door. Because it was an airport, there were a lot of people. Mommy, I want to poop, Little Bean yelled, probably because she ate too much on the plane. Okay, take your time. Mommy's waiting for you at the door. When you're done, call Mommy and I'll go in and wipe your butt. Huamin smiled warmly. Okay, Mommy. Since Little Bean said she wanted to poop, Pudding didn't rush out. Huamin waited at the door inside, while Chin Chu waited at the door outside. They were less than 3 meters away from each other. There were a lot of people going in and out of the washroom. However, there was only one exit, so Huamin didn't think too much about it. After he turned on his phone, he received a call from the company. Bella reported something urgent to Huamin. Huamin talked to Bella about work on the phone. Chin Chu was waiting for them at the door. He wasn't on his phone, but something caught his attention. A group of people was chasing after 2 people. The person running seemed to be a woman. She was wearing a black cashmere coat, a hat, and a mask. She ran very fast. The group of people behind her seemed to be reporters and fans. Fans chasing after their idols wasn't news in today's society. Chin Chu just looked at it and didn't think it was strange. However, the woman rushed into the washroom. Huamin couldn't stop them. The fans behind him also rushed in large batches. Huamin was so scared that he held his phone in a daze. What's going on? Huamin was dumbfounded. Why did you all come here? This is a dead end. There isn't even an exit. Miss Wen, we just want to interview you. Please don't run away. The male reporters couldn't enter, so they blocked the door. Huamin was frightened by the crowd. He walked out and stood beside Chin Chu. Where's the child? She's inside. She said she wanted to poop. Huamin didn't think much of it. But after waiting for about 3 minutes, he still didn't come out. At this time, the crowd had already dispersed. The female celebrities, reporters, and fans had also left the restroom. Chin Chu was a little anxious. Honey, go in and take a look. Why haven't you come out yet? Yes. Huamin nodded and returned to the toilet. Little Bean, Pudding, are you done? Huamin asked, but there was no response. Little Bean? Pudding? Huamin was a little puzzled. He raised his voice and called out again. There was still no response. Now, Huamin was anxious. He rushed in and pushed open the door. Little Bean, Pudding. She anxiously pushed open all the doors, but there was no response. The children were missing for no reason. Pudding, Little Bean, answer me. Don't scare Mommy. Huamin was so scared that his face turned pale. Chin Chu heard the noise. He didn't care that it was the women's restroom and rushed in. Then, he grabbed Huamin's arm. Honey, what's wrong? Honey, the children are missing. Huamin was so anxious that his legs turned to jelly. Ow! Chin Chu was also confused. There was only one exit, and he didn't see the children go out. Chin Chu and Huamin had been guarding the door, but the children really were gone. Chapter 1968. They're really gone, honey. Huamin's voice began to tremble, and his mind went blank. In a moment of desperation, Chin Chu pushed open the bathroom door one by one. However, he found that the bathroom was empty. Little Bean, Pudding, don't play hide-and-seek with Mommy and Daddy. Chin Chu called out tentatively, but it was still empty, and there was no response. Honey, where do you think they're going? They shouldn't be. There's only one exit, and we've been at the door the whole time. If they came out, we would have noticed them. Huamin began to panic. Let's go and watch the surveillance video. Chin Chu was also anxious, but he was calmer than Huamin. He held Huamin's hand and hurried to the airport surveillance room. After they revealed their identities, the person in charge of the airport immediately hung up the surveillance video for them. Chin Chu and Huamin stared at the video, watching it over and over again. The twins really didn't come out. That was until when that unknown celebrity entered, and a large number of reporters and fans rushed in as well. Things began to get strange. Wait, rewind it. Chin Chu narrowed his eyes and stared at the screen. The staff rewound the video. Slow it down. Thank you. Chin Chu stared at the screen and said coldly. After the video was slowed down, he noticed a detail. When a female celebrity in the woolen coat went in, she was empty-handed. When she came out, she had a big black travel bag in her hand. Because she was surrounded by people, no one noticed this detail. Go and find out who this female celebrity is. Chin Chu looked at the person in charge. The person in charge made a round of phone calls, and in the end, he replied blankly, Mr. Chin, I've checked, and there are no female celebrities in the airport today. What about entering the airport? No one. The person in charge replied. Chin Chu frowned slightly. That's strange. Could it be this person isn't a celebrity? Maybe it's just a trap. Huamin felt a chill run down his spine. Honey, you mean this is a premeditated kidnapping? Huamin's eyes widened. Hurry, find out where they went. There should be surveillance video at the entrance. Find out which car they left in. Chin Chu anxiously gave out orders. When they saw the video outside, Chin and Huamin were dumbfounded again. The woman had left in a silver-gray van, but the license plate of the van was clearly a fake one. Moreover, after the car started, it went on the road and no one knew where it went. No, I'm going to call Gao Ran and ask him to help me investigate the whereabouts of this car. Then lock down the entire city. We can't let them take the kids away. And Gao Ran and Hua's aunts. Huamin finally figured out that this was a premeditated kidnapping. Although there was only one exit in the washroom, the problem was that after those people went in, they blurred their vision. This lowered Chin Chu and Hua means vigilance. After all, this was an airport, a public place. Who would have thought that they could do something to the twins here? When the woman went in, she had an empty bag with her. When she came out, the twins should have been in the bag. The children didn't make a sound from beginning to end. They must have been drugged or injected with needles. Huamin felt like she was going to break down. If anything happened to her daughters, she wouldn't be able to live anymore. Chapter 1969. She regretted not waiting for him in the washroom. Why did she have to be so impatient? Why did she call the company at that time? If only she was more vigilant, then she wouldn't have known that her children were kidnapped. She was still standing at the door like an idiot. Qin Shu was also anxiously calling Gao Ran. President Qin, you're back from your trip? Gao Ran was happy to receive Qin Shu's call and wanted to tease him. Listen to me. Right now, give me all the traffic cameras in the city. I want to find a silver van with a license plate number A65288. It's driving out of the airport. Also, immediately order the city to be locked down. We can't let this van out. Bro, what's going on? You? Gao Ran was dumbfounded. My daughters have been kidnapped. What? Gao Ran was completely dumbfounded. Didn't you guys just come back from the States? Gao Ran was surprised. Yes, it happened at the airport. When? Just now. Qin Shu's voice sounded depressed. Okay, I'll look into it right away. Don't worry, you have to calm down. I know. Qin Shu nodded. Is Huamin okay? Gao Ran was worried. Because his mother was the one with the worst tolerance. Qin Shu turned around, and his expression changed. Huamin was on the verge of fainting. Qin Shu immediately hung up the phone and rushed over to help her up. Huamin's vision turned black, and she fainted. Qin Shu was busy driving Huamin to the hospital. He also had to communicate with Gao Ran about tracking down the kidnappers. He was mentally and physically exhausted. At the headquarters of Imperial Star, Suyu knew that today was the day that the twins were coming back because he had video calls with them every day. He had been thinking about them all this time. He even wanted to wait for them to return home and immediately pick them up for dinner. This was something that Grandpa had personally instructed him to do. After not seeing the twins for so long, the Su family couldn't take it anymore. But he didn't receive any news. So you couldn't sit still and send a WeChat message to Pudding. Baby, are you home yet? There was no response for a long time. In the end, Suyu sent Huamin a WeChat message, feeling a little embarrassed. Are you home yet? I want to bring the children home for dinner later. My parents and Grandpa miss them very much. After sending the WeChat message, Suyu waited for a long time, but there was still no reply. Suddenly, he felt that something was wrong. It was fine if the twins didn't reply, but Huamin shouldn't have. She was a very efficient person. If she saw the WeChat message, she would definitely reply immediately. After another 10 minutes, Suyu couldn't take it anymore and called her. Qin Shu had just finished taking care of Huamin and was talking to the doctor. Then, he received a call from Suyu because he had Huamin's phone. When he saw that it was Suyu calling, Qin Shu hesitated for a moment and then picked up the phone. Hello. When he heard that it was Qin Shu, Suyu felt a little awkward. Qin Shu. Suyu wasn't sure. It's me. Where's Huamin? She's at the hospital. At the hospital? What happened to her? She fainted? Fainted? Why would she do that all of a sudden? Didn't you guys just come back from the States? Suyu panicked. Yes. Then why is she not feeling well? Is she too tired? Suyu asked with concern. Suyu, my daughters are missing. Qin Shu explained word by word. He knew that Suyu loved the twins very much, so he felt that it was necessary to tell him the situation. What did you say? Suyu's mind went blank. When we arrived at the airport, the kids went to the washroom and were set up. The twins were kidnapped. I'm looking for them right now. Mian couldn't take it and just fainted. Qin Shu's voice was very heavy. Kidnapped? Are you sure they're not hiding and playing with you? Suyu stood up with a whoosh, his expression changing. Chapter 1970. No, I watched the surveillance footage. This kidnapping was premeditated. Where are you now? The first hospital. Wait for me, I'll be there soon. Suyu picked up the phone and sped away in his Lamborghini. Beside Suyu was the silent, and 15 minutes later, Suyu arrived at the first hospital. What's going on? Suyu ran upstairs, panting. Before Qin Shu could speak, he asked in a panic. Qin Shu explained the situation to Suyu briefly. His entire person instantly became unwell. Fuck! Who dares to touch the twins? If I catch them, I'll chop them into pieces, Suyu cursed. I've already ordered them to investigate. I'm sure we'll have news soon. Qin Shu was also waiting patiently. Just then his phone rang. It was Gao Ran again. Chu, come to the Municipal Public Security Bureau. What's wrong? The situation is a bit complicated right now. I'll tell you the details if you come. Gao Ran's tone was very serious. Okay. Qin Shu hung up the phone and looked at Suyu. Can you do me a favor? What is it? Help me take care of Mion. When she wakes up, please comfort her. She's been devastated by the loss of the twins. She even lost the ability to think. I'm a bit worried about her condition. What about you? Suyu asked. I'll go to the Municipal Public Security Bureau. Gao Ran said the situation is a bit complicated. He's afraid it might involve confidential information, so it's not convenient for you to talk over the phone. Okay, then you go. Leave Huamin to me. Thank you. You're welcome, Qin Shu. Suyu suddenly shouted. Qin Shu turned around and looked at him quietly. Stay strong. Pudding and Little Bean will be fine. They'll be protected by God. Okay. Qin Shu nodded heavily, then turned around and went downstairs. After Qin Shu left, Suyu immediately ordered Xiao and investigate this matter. Find out where the twins are at all costs. Once you discover their whereabouts, no matter what it takes, bring them back immediately. Kill whoever took them. Suyu was also crazy. He directly gave the order to kill. Yes, President Su. After receiving Suyu's order, and turned around and went downstairs to do something. Suyu walked into the VIP ward. Huamin was still unconscious. There was a needle on the back of his hand, and he was injected with a nutrient solution. His face looked very pale. When Suyu saw Huamin like this, he felt an inexplicable pain in his heart. Why do you have to go through so much? As a bystander, I can't bear to see you like this. God is so fucking unfair. Why do you have to set her up? Fuck. Suyu clenched his fists tightly. He wished he could lie here in place of Huamin. Huamin was a strong woman most of the time. She could do anything, be it a doctor or a president. Everything came easily to her. Nothing was too difficult for her. Now that she was lying here quietly without a sound, Suyu felt that everything was meaningless. Suyu sat quietly at the head of Huamin's bed. He pulled the corner of the blanket for her, afraid that she would be cold. Although the room was air-conditioned, he was still afraid. Mion, you have to hang in there. You're a fairy, so nothing can stop you. God gave you so much training so that you can reach perfection in your human cultivation. When you reach the end of your life, you can go back to heaven. So, you still have a long way to go. Pudding and Little Bean are so cute and smart, so they'll be fine. They'll wake up safe and sound. So, before that happens, nothing must happen to you. When he said this emotionally, Suyu couldn't help but hold Huamin's hand. Perhaps only in this way could he feel at ease and feel that she was close to him and hadn't gone far. When Qin Shu arrived at the Municipal Public Security Bureau, it took less than 10 minutes for him to speed. He even felt that every minute he was late or delayed, the girls would be in more danger. What did you find out? Qin Shu walked in and asked Gao Ran, panting. It's really troublesome. This time, do you know who came back? Gao Ran's expression was serious, and his eyebrows furrowed. Chapter 1971. Who is it? Qin Shu realized the severity of the situation. Huasi is back. Huasi? Qin Shu was slightly surprised. He hadn't heard this name in a long time. Back when the Hua family went bankrupt, Huasi Qian single-handedly took control of the Hua family and even forced out his adoptive mother, Jiang Hong. He used extremely cruel methods to kill Hua Zhenghai. Although the media didn't report this incident and the police didn't investigate, Qin Shu could still guess what was going on. Later on, Huamin wanted to team up with Hua Xiqian to take revenge on the Hua family. However, after seeing how miserable the Hua family was, Huamin couldn't bear to see Hua Zhenghai anymore and even went to see him one last time. After that incident, Hua Yin, Hua Si, and his mother, Shun Jiani, were kicked out of the board of directors. Hua Yin didn't leave and lived a miserable life there. Hua Xiqian didn't do anything to her and left her to fend for herself. Shun Jiani and her son fled abroad with their adulterer. They were never heard from again. A few years later, Huamin got pregnant and gave birth to a 3-year-old baby. However, Hua Si suddenly came back. When did this happen? I checked the immigration records, and he's been back for a long time. We didn't pay attention to this incident and overlooked it. I think he's been here for a long time and planned carefully before he did something to the children, Gao Ran said. Shinjiani's husband came back too? Qin Shu's heart sank. He had a bad feeling about this. I'm not sure. Xinjiani probably changed her name, and I couldn't find it. Huisi also changed his name, but there are fingerprints here. I compared them. If I didn't help you find the baby, I wouldn't have known that he came back. Are you sure he has something to do with this? Qin Chu asked solemnly. I'm not sure, but I've been a detective for so many years, and my instincts are very accurate. I've rarely guessed wrong. I think Huisi came back with something big. I think he wants to take revenge on Huisi Qian and Huamin. After all, he always thought that Huisi Qian and Huamin conspired to frame him. That's why he wants to start with the twins. Are you sure he's still in the city? He's still here. There's no record of him leaving. Do you know which hotel he's in? Qin Chu clenched his fists tightly. If it really was Huisi, then the baby would be in danger. He was definitely back for revenge. I don't know. There are no check-in records in the hotels, so he shouldn't be staying in a hotel. I guess he's hiding in some abandoned factories or slums. After all, the roads there are complicated, so it's easy to hide. Qin Chu remained silent after hearing what Huisi Qian said. Chu, don't worry. I'm going to say something unpleasant, but you should wait. Huisi definitely didn't kidnap the twins just for them. I'm sure he wants to threaten you and Huamin. So, I think you two will receive a threatening text or phone call soon. My daughters are missing, and now you're telling me to sit here and do nothing? Qin Chu was a little angry. Calm down. I'm not telling you to sit here and do nothing. What I'm saying is that we can wait for news. If Huisi really planned this, then he won't let you find him easily. Why don't you investigate how Huisi has been living abroad for the past few days? What's his background? Gao Ran suggested. No, I don't care about anything else. I want to find my daughters first. Hurry up and get all the surveillance cameras in the city. For the first time, Qin Chu lost his cool. At this moment, he was just a father who had lost his children. Pudding Little Bean, Huamin woke up from a nightmare. He screamed with all his might, sweating profusely. Mian, calm down. Suyu held on to Hua Min's arm tightly. He was afraid that she would drop the nutrition needle on his arm. I dreamed that the twins' faces were covered in blood and they were calling for their mommy. Huamin covered his face with his hands and began to cry. Suyu's heart ached for Huamian. Mian, calm down. I think the kids will be fine. They're lucky stars. I'm sure they'll come back safe and sound. An abandoned factory in the suburbs. Big brother, we've got the kids. What should we do with them? A few monkey-like men dressed in black put down their luggage on the ground. Huisi looked down at the unconscious twins, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Chapter 1972. So they're Hua Min's children. They're just as cheap as their mother. Huisi glanced at the twins coldly. Boss, should we kill them now? Huisi's subordinate made a throat-slitting gesture. Are you stupid? If we kill them now, how are we going to get the ransom? Huisi glared at his subordinate. What should we do with these two kids? Lock them in the warehouse and feed them like normal. I'll think about it and call Huamin later, haha. Then, Huisi laughed coldly and turned to leave. After a while, the twins woke up groggily after the effects of the drug wore off. Huh, where the hell is this place? Little Bean opened her eyes and was dumbfounded. Pudding also got up groggily. I think we were kidnapped. Pudding tried to recall. She and Little Bean went to the washroom at the airport and heard a lot of noise. Then they smelled a weird smell that smelled like smoke. After that, she didn't remember anything. Kidnapped? What the fuck? Are we in a horror movie? Little Bean didn't expect that she and her sister would be kidnapped. Calm down. Let me see where we are. Then, Pudding quickly got up and found that they were in a cold warehouse. Pudding looked around. There was only a small skylight, and she couldn't reach it. Sis, are we still in Sea City? I'm not sure. Our phones and watches were taken. Pudding calmly replied. What the fuck? Then we're dead meat? Little Bean was dumbfounded. Don't panic. Since these people managed to kidnap us in front of Mommy and Daddy, they must have planned this for a long time. I suspect that they're after the ransom money. After all, the whole country knows that our family is rich, Pudding analyzed. There's so many rich people. Why would they kidnap just us? Aren't they a little too lucky? Little Bean said sarcastically. Don't be so noisy. Let me see what's going on. Then, Pudding walked to the door and banged on it loudly. Is anyone there? Someone come. I'm hungry. I want to eat. Sure enough, the door opened in less than a minute. A man with a protruding mouth and monkey-like cheeks looked at the two of them with shifty eyes. Little brat, what are you shouting for? I'm hungry. I want to eat. Hee, you're still in the mood to eat? Do you know where this is? The man smiled. I don't care where it is. You have to feed us. If we starve to death together, you won't get the huge ransom. I-oh, not bad. You actually know about the ransom? The man was a little surprised. He couldn't imagine that this was said by a child who looked less than 3 years old. Bring me some food and water. Cut the crap, Pudding said coldly. I want teriyaki chicken, Little Bean added. You still want to eat drumsticks? Do you think this is a restaurant? The man was annoyed. Dahai, go and get some lunch boxes for the two brats. The man ordered, and the other man immediately brought 2 lunch boxes over and placed them directly at the door. Who are you? Why did you capture us? Pudding glanced at the man and asked, what does it have to do with me? Who's your boss? Do we know each other? I-oh, little brat. You're still too young to get information from me. Don't worry, you'll find out soon enough. Let your parents worry for a while. It'll be easier to negotiate later. Then, the man laughed and locked the door. Pudding lowered her head and walked over with the lunch boxes. Little Bean, eat first. Keep your strength up so we can find a chance to escape. Chapter 1973. Sis, can we really find a chance to escape? Little Bean was obviously surprised by Pudding's words. Even if we can't, we have to. We can't just sit here and wait for death, right? But I think Mommy and Daddy will be worried sick if they find out that we're missing. Little Bean puffed out her cheeks and stared at her sister with her big round eyes. Mommy and Daddy will definitely find us. They're so smart. Don't worry. Pudding comforted her sister. But sister, won't we be killed before Mommy and Daddy arrive? They'll kill you first. Pudding glanced at her sister indifferently. Why? Little Bean was obviously not convinced. People are afraid of fame, and pigs are afraid of being fat. You're so fat, of course they'll kill you first. Pudding joked. Qin Zhao Zhao, your joke isn't funny at all. Plus, you're still joking with me at a time like this? Aren't you a bit too relaxed? Little Bean sweated. I'm just kidding. Don't be so nervous. Come, let's eat. We'll talk about it after we're full. Then, Pudding led her sister to the corner of the warehouse. The two of them each had a box of lunch. Holding the box in their small hands, they looked a bit sad. This is for you. Eat more. After Pudding opened the box, she saw that there were only 2 dishes. One was braised pork that looked greasy, and the other was stir-fried spinach. The food was really bad. In Little Bean's words, even the chickens, ducks, geese, and dogs at home wouldn't eat this kind of food that looked like pig food. Maybe it was because they bought it for too long, so it was a bit cold. Sis, there's only 2 pieces of meat. How about you? Little Bean looked at her sister with puppy eyes. I don't like meat. I'm sick of it. Vegetables are good. They have vitamins. Then, Little Bean began to eat with big bites. You're always so two-faced. I know you love me, but will it kill you to say it out loud? Seriously, how can you say you have a temper like Daddy? I think you're worse than Daddy. Daddy always confesses to Mommy. Little Bean complained about her sister's personality. Please, Chin Mumu. Daddy and Mommy are husband and wife, and we're sisters. How can we compare? Idiot. Little Bean, the 2 sisters chatted, quarreled, and ate. Time passed quickly. The most important thing was that Little Bean wasn't that scared anymore, because she was with her sister. Pudding gave all the meat to Little Bean, afraid that Little Bean would feel cold. She sat in the corner and hugged her tightly. Tell her something funny that you saw in a book or on TV. On the other hand, Huisi was looking through the twins' phones. These 2 brats actually have such an advanced mobile phone. He found it a little unbelievable that the 2 little guys were holding the most advanced mobile phones on the market. Boss, it's almost time. Can we call for the ransom? The shifty-eyed man walked over and smiled. What's the hurry? How are they doing? Huisi asked impatiently. She's in good condition. She said she was hungry, so I brought her some food and water. There's such a thing? As expected of a child with an abnormally high IQ, to be able to remain so calm. Boss, who do you think we should call? We've been investigating for a long time, and we've learned a lot. These twins are not only Huamin and Qin Shu's pets, but they're also Su Yu's favorite. Can we extort both at the same time? One of Hua Xi's men suggested. Chapter 1974. Don't be too greedy. I'm here for revenge. The ransom isn't the most important thing. The most important thing is to take back what belongs to me. I won't let those bastards, Hua Xiqian and Huamin, off the hook. So, this time, we're not only after the money, we're after them as well. Huamin is easy to deal with. He'll definitely come because the kids are here. But Hua Xiqian, it's not easy to deal with him. He's too cautious. There's no way we can make a move on him. The subordinate frowned. Hua Xi smiled sinisterly. Don't worry. I have a way to deal with Hua Xiqian. I'll make sure he doesn't put up a fight. Time passed by. Before they even reached home, the twins were lost at the airport. This was a huge blow to Huamin and Qin Shu. Huamin didn't tell Ji Xin and the others because he didn't want his mother and brother to worry. In the hospital, she was in a daze. She was in so much pain that she wanted to die. Mian, you can't solve the problem like this. You have to pull yourself together. So you rarely had the patience to comfort someone. I can't pull myself together. I only know that if anything happens to my daughters, I'll kill myself immediately. Huamin's thoughts were extreme. She blamed herself. Last night, before she came back to China, she taught the two kids a lesson in Los Angeles. She even beat Little Bean 10 times. Although she thought it was too harsh, she taught them a lot. Who knew that the twins would suddenly disappear as soon as she came back? Even if she wanted to apologize to Little Bean and Pudding, it was too late. So where do you think they're going? They're only 3 years old. What if those bad guys go crazy? This isn't a last-minute plan. They must have planned this for a long time. I'm so scared. I'll give them all the money they want. But I'm really, really scared that they'll hurt my kids. Tell me, what should I do? Huamin was extremely emotional. She was extremely unstable as she cried. Suyu felt nothing but heartache. Mian, calm down. Now's not the time to think. The kids will be fine. They wouldn't just want to hurt the twins. They'll definitely ask for ransom. We'll give them whatever they want. Even if we don't have the money, we'll go out and borrow it. We'll agree to whatever they want as long as they don't hurt the kids. Where's my husband? I need to call him. No, I need to ask him how the investigation is going. I have to find them as soon as possible. The two of them are afraid of the dark and the cold. Huamin started crying again. At this moment, she was as weak as a child. She was no longer as strong and calm as before. Perhaps all women would have a fragile heart after becoming mothers, especially when it came to children. Seeing that Qin Shu had left for a while, Huamin excitedly picked up his phone and dialed Qin Shu's number. Hubby, where are you? I'm at the city bureau. Qin Shu's voice sounded exhausted, and he did not feel optimistic. Huamin felt a chill in his heart. Do you have any news? Did you find any leads? Soon. Don't worry, honey. Just focus on recovering. The kids will be fine. Gao Ran and I have been investigating. We've already found something. Don't worry. Leave it to me. Qin Shu was extremely worried about Huamin. What lead did you find? I want to know. Honey, you have to believe me. I want to know. Tell me now. Huamin was anxious. Finally, Qin Shu sighed slightly. The person who kidnapped the kids is most likely Huamin. Qin Shu thought about it and decided not to hide this from Huamin. Hua Xi, he's back. Huamin was slightly surprised. It had been a long time since he heard this name. It had been more than 4 years. Chapter 1975. Yeah, he's back. He changed his name and entered the country secretly. That's why we didn't find out. Qin Shu hated himself for being so careless. He didn't think that Hua Xiqian would dare to come back. After all, Hua Xiqian wanted to kill them. He also didn't think that Hua Xiqian would come back to take revenge on Hua Xiqian. Instead, he kidnapped their children. If it's Hua Xi, then he's definitely going to take revenge on me. Huamin calmed down when he heard about Hua Xi. Don't worry, honey. Hua Xi is simple-minded and won't amount to much. He just wants money. We'll give it to him as long as he doesn't hurt Pudding and Little Bean. Chin Shu was afraid that Huamin would get agitated. I got it. Are you feeling better? Chin Shu asked with concern. I'm much better. Don't worry about me. Finding the kids is more important. Okay, give the phone to Suyu. Chin Shu said confidently. Okay. Then, Huamin handed the phone to Suyu. Hey, it's me. Suyu felt weird talking to Chin Shu. After all, they were love rivals. Please keep an eye on Huamian for me. I have a feeling that Huasi will call her or me to ask for the ransom. I'm afraid that Huamian will be too impulsive and take the ransom herself. It's too dangerous. After all, Huasiqian doesn't just want the money. He wants revenge as well. So please keep an eye on her and call me immediately if anything happens. No problem. Don't worry. Suyu nodded. After hanging up, Huamin asked Suyu, what did my husband say to you? Oh, he told me to take good care of you at the hospital. You're not in good health, so you have to be careful. You just came back and you're still jet-lagged. You need a rest. Don't tire yourself out when the kids come back. Really? Huamin obviously didn't believe him. Of course. When have I ever lied to you? Suyu felt a little guilty. I'm a little hungry. Go buy me something to eat. Huamin suddenly said. What do you want to eat? I can get someone to buy it. You don't have to go down personally. It's too troublesome. Seeing that Suyu didn't fall for it, Huamin didn't dare to say anything more. In the municipal bureau, Chin Shu and Gao Ran, as well as many policemen, started to investigate all kinds of things, but the scope was too big, and it was really difficult to find in a short time. Who do you think Huasi would call to ask for the ransom? Gao Ran looked at Chin Shu and asked. It's probably Mian. Because he wants revenge? Gao Ran frowned. Chin Shu nodded. He was very worried. Then do you think Huasiqian will be dragged into this as well? Gao Ran analyzed. Chin Shu didn't say anything. He seemed to be thinking about something. In the hospital, time ticked by slowly. Huamin kept staring at her phone, and Suyu also noticed that she was staring at her phone. I'm going to the washroom. You're not going to follow me, are you? Huamin stood up and glanced at Suyu. Of course not. Do I look like such a perverted person? Huamin discreetly held onto her phone and hid her earphones in her palm. Then, she stood up and went to the washroom in the suite. Suyu was a little worried, so he waited for her at the door, afraid that she was hiding something from him. Huamin sat on the toilet and stared at her phone screen. In less than 3 minutes, as expected, it was a call from a number that started with 1009. Because she had her earphones on, there was no sound. Huamin picked up the call and put on her earphones. Huamin, long time no see. Huamin's proud voice came through, and Huamin felt a chill in her heart. Huamin, where are my daughters? Huamin's voice was very soft, but because it was close to the earphones, Huamin could definitely hear it. Suyu, who was guarding the door, couldn't hear because the door was blocking her. Chapter 1976. Haha, don't worry. They're my hands. Huasi smiled proudly. Please don't hurt them. Come at me. Huamin was extremely nervous. Don't worry. This time, I'm here for you. How much do you want? I'll give you everything. But you have to promise me that you won't hurt a single hair on my daughters. Otherwise, I won't let you off the hook, Huamin threatened. You better understand the situation. They're in my hands now, and I have the upper hand. You don't have the right to threaten me or negotiate with me. I don't know if you'll hurt their hair, but I do know that if you don't do as I say, they'll become 2 corpses. Huasi threatened. Huasi, I beg you. Don't do that. They're still young and innocent. They don't know anything. If you have a grudge against me, you can do whatever you want to me. I, Huamin, will let you do whatever you want to me. Good. Since you're willing to go all out, I'm relieved. Huamin's impatience was exactly what Huasi wanted. How much money do you want? I'll get someone to prepare it right now. Huamin was extremely anxious. He couldn't wait to get the money to ransom his daughters. Haha, do you think the grudge between us can be resolved with money? Huasi said viciously. Then what do you want? In order not to let Suyu hear them, Huamian lowered her voice. I want you to come here alone. You can't call the police or tell Chin Shu. You can't alert anyone. If I come, will you let my daughters go? Huamin asked tentatively. Of course. We'll exchange hostages, Huisi requested. That's fine. No problem. When? You can leave now. I'll let you know. Wait for my call. No, you can't call me. If I disappear, my husband will check my phone and listen to my call records. So, you better think of something else. Huamin considered the possibility that he was being followed. He was afraid that if he angered Huisi, the children would be in danger. Huamin took Huisi's advice seriously. Thinking that it made sense, he nodded and immediately said, "Then you go out immediately and go to the intersection of Tongshan Street. There will be a black van there. Someone will be waiting for you there. Just get in the car. Remember, don't expose your whereabouts, or I won't show mercy to your child. Don't hurt them. I'll do as you say. However, you must also guarantee that you'll release them once I'm there. We'll talk when you get here. I told you that you have no right to negotiate with me." Then, Huisi hung up the phone. When Huamin came out, he hid his earphones and walked out casually with his phone in his hand. "You don't look well. Are you okay?" Suyu stepped forward to help her. "I'm fine." Huamin shook his head. As soon as she finished speaking, she closed her eyes and fainted. Luckily, Suyu was by her side. Otherwise, she would have been lying on the ground. Suyu was scared out of his wits. He picked up Huamin and placed her on the bed. Then, he opened the door and ran out to call the doctor. "Doctor, doctor, someone," she fainted. Suyu saw that Huamin had fainted and immediately ran out to call for help. He didn't even think about anything else. The moment Suyu turned around, Huamin opened her eyes, got up from the ground, opened the door, and ran out. Chapter 1977. Huamin was running in the opposite direction of Suyu, which was the exit. When Suyu came back with the doctor, he found that Huamin was gone. He was dumbfounded and realized that he had fallen into a trap. So, he immediately picked up his phone and called Qin Chu. "Qin Chu, what is it?" "Huamin." For the first time, Suyu felt guilty and didn't dare to say it out loud. What happened to her? Hearing Suyu's hesitation, Qin Chu became even more nervous. She pretended to faint, and I was so scared that I went to get the doctor. When I came back, she was gone, Suyu said anxiously. "Gone? How is that possible?" "Then, did you hear her receive any suspicious calls?" Qin Chu suspected that Huamin was contacted by Huisi. "I didn't receive any calls, but what?" But before she fainted, she went to the washroom. Because of the soundproofing, I'm not sure if she picked up the call or not. She was in the washroom for about 5 or 6 minutes. "Okay, I understand." After Qin Chu hung up, so he was also very anxious. He began to call around and use his connections, trying to find out more about Huamin and the kids. At this time, Qin Ning called. Suyu didn't recognize Qin Ning's number. When he saw that it was an American call, he slightly hesitated. Then he picked it up. "Hello, Suyu?" Qin Ning asked uncertainly. "It's me. Who is this?" "Hello, I'm Qin Ning." "Qin Ning? Oh, I remember now. Qin Chu's sister." Suyu suddenly realized. "Yeah, it's me. I looked at the time, and my brother's family should have landed safely. I video called Pudding and Little Bean, but they didn't pick up. Then I called my sister-in-law, but she didn't pick up. I called my brother, but he didn't pick up either. I started to panic. Did something happen? How do you know my number?" Suyu felt a little strange. She was surprised that Qin Ning could call Suyu directly. When Little Bean and Pudding were here, they often talked about it. "Your number is easy to remember, so I wrote it down. I hope I didn't disturb you." "Not really, but there's a bit of trouble right now." "What trouble? Did something happen to them?" Qin Ning's heart skipped a beat. Qin Chu didn't pick up Qin Ning's call because he wasn't in the mood to explain to her. He also didn't want her to worry. Suyu also knew, but this kind of thing couldn't be kept a secret for long. "Something did happen. Let me tell you, you have to stay calm and promise not to tell the other members of your family, especially the elders. They'll be worried." "Okay, go ahead." "The twins, they're missing," Suyu told Qin Ning the truth. "Missing? Then what does that mean?" Qin Ning didn't understand at first. "It means they've been kidnapped." "Maybe." "Kidnapped?" Hearing this word, Qin Ning's mind went blank. "How can that be? My brother has always been very careful. He has reliable bodyguards everywhere he goes. How could someone kidnap the twins right under his nose?" It's unbelievable. Obviously, the kidnapper planned this. No matter how well your brother prepared, there's always a flaw. Right now, it's not about whether your brother is careful or not. The problem is, we're all looking for the twins. It's very urgent. Then my sister-in-law must be worried sick. As a mother, she must be the most upset, Qi Ning said as she cried. Your sister-in-law just disappeared too, Suyu said intermittently. What? Qi Ning couldn't accept this. Your brother told me to keep an eye on her, but she sent me away. She probably received a call from the kidnapper and went to save the twins. Oh my God, my sister-in-law is a weak woman. How can she save the twins by herself? How can she be so stupid? For the first time, Qi Ning felt that her highly intelligent sister-in-law was so irrational. Chapter 1978. Mian isn't usually this impulsive. It's just that she gets really emotional when it comes to her children. Of course, every mother has the instinct to protect their children. It's the halo of motherly love. Qi Ning sobbed quietly. Don't cry and don't worry. Your brother and I have already tried our best to find them. It won't take long. Do you know who they are? Qi Ning asked. I heard it's Huisi, one of your sister-in-law's enemies. It looks like things aren't looking good. It's okay if they're after a ransom, but I'm afraid they're after revenge. Suyu, I heard that your family is very powerful. Please save the twins and my sister-in-law. You can't let anything happen to them, okay? Qi Ning cried and begged Suyu don't worry. Even if you didn't ask, I would have done my best. You mean a lot to the twins. You're very important to them. You're second only to my brother, their biological father. Do you know what happened in Los Angeles this time? What? The twins went out alone to buy you a present. They ditched me, and all the bodyguards avoided all the surveillance cameras and disappeared for 4 hours. We were scared out of our wits. They wanted to get rid of the adults and go out alone to buy you a present. When my sister-in-law found out, she was furious and taught them a lesson. She even hit Little Bean. Suyu didn't say anything after hearing this, but he felt really bad. The present should still be in the luggage. It's a limited edition Versace belt. Pudding said you like this brand. These two kids. Suyu choked up. When we were in the States, Pudding and Little Bean told me every day how good their handsome Sue is and how much he loves them, just like their daddy. So, I've been influenced by what I've seen and heard. I think kids are the most innocent and won't lie. They know who's really good to them, and that's why they love you so much. Yeah, I love them very much too. Thinking about how they spent time together for the past 3 years, Suyu had been entangled with them since the moment they were carried out of the delivery room. Just like Huamin, he felt the joy of being a parent as he watched the two little guys grow up day by day. Now that the child was gone, he was just as worried as Qin Chu and Huamin. So, you have to save them. I beg you, Suyu. I beg you. Perhaps Qi Ning was influenced by the twins, or perhaps she knew that Suyu had a military background, so she felt that he was very powerful and omnipotent. She kept begging Suyu to save her. In fact, Suyu was more anxious than anyone else. I will. I will definitely save them. Don't worry. Then I'll book a flight back to China right now. Then, before Suyu could respond, Qi Ning hung up. Suyu raised his hand and wiped the corner of his eyes. There were actually wet tears. The twins had caused so much trouble just to buy him a gift. No wonder Huamin kept blaming himself for being too fierce to them. These two kids were really inside the municipal bureau. Hearing that Huamin was missing, Qinshu immediately asked Gao Ran to investigate Huamin's phone records. Sure enough, he heard the conversation between her and Huisi. After hearing the conversation, Qinshu's expression became even more serious. He asked Huamin to go alone. He must be up to no good. She can't go. Huamin is really stupid. Gao Ran regretted. For the children, she will definitely go. I know her. Qinshu was surprisingly calm. Did you find out where Huisi's voice came from? Qinshu turned around and looked at the young policeman behind him. Chapter 1979. No, the enemy used an anti-tracking device to hide their departure point. This doesn't seem like Huisi's style. It seems like he came back with a master, Gao Ran analyzed. They all grew up together. Although they didn't know Huasiqian well, they could tell from his past actions that he was a brainless and impulsive person. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been killed so easily by Huasiqian. It didn't seem like Huasi's style to be so cautious. If he had a brain, he wouldn't have been in such a sorry state when Huasiqian played him, Qin Chu said faintly. Do you think Shijiani came back too? Gao Ran guessed. It's hard to say. We don't have any information on her entering the country. Boss, we found it. Mrs. Qin did go to the intersection of Tongshan Street and got into the black van. According to Hua Min's phone records, they found out that she did go to that place. Where did the van go? Qin Chu and Gao Ran asked in unison. Not long after it got on the highway, it got off at a small intersection. There are no surveillance cameras there because it's a rural area. There are many villages. We can't be sure where it went. Could Huasi be hiding in that village? Gao Ran analyzed in confusion. Qin Chu shook his head. No, Huasi is probably just trying to confuse us. The van went there to attract our attention. The final location wouldn't be there. What do we do now? Gao Ran was also panicking because the clues they found were all useless. We still have to check the abandoned factory in the western suburbs and the slums in the northern suburbs. We have to find Huasi even if we have to dig 3 feet into the ground. Qin Chu clenched his fists tightly. He was more than sad at this moment. His wife and children were in the hands of the enemy. No one was sadder than him. However, he had to force himself to calm down and think of the best way to save them. Time ticked by. For Qin Chu and Su Yu, it was an extremely long torment. Not long after, Su Yu also went to the Municipal Public Security Bureau. Together with Gao Ran and Qin Chu, he took command and deployed the plan. At the same time, in an abandoned factory in the suburbs. Help! Help! Pudding yelled. Brat, what's the matter? I need to go to the toilet. Just pee inside, the kidnapper said perfunctorily. No, I want to poop, not pee. Then poop inside. How can that be? It's so dirty and smelly. I don't want to eat or sleep. Pudding complained. Those people were playing cards, and they were getting a headache from all the noise. Dahai, go and take that brat outside to take a dump. Watch him closely. Okay, don't worry. She can't run away. The man called Dahai got up, opened the door, and walked out with Pudding. Little Bean, on the other hand, sat inside quietly. Her face was very calm. After Pudding followed the man out, she immediately looked around vigilantly. It was a very deserted factory. There were weeds all around, and there were no residents at all. Okay, don't go. Just squat there. The man pointed at an empty space. Turn your face away. Hey, brat, do you think I'll take advantage of you? Men and women are different. Turn your head away. Don't do something as dirty as peeking at girls using the toilet. Pudding pointed at him with her hands on her hips. The man didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Chapter 1980. Okay. Even if I turn around, you won't run away. The man knew that Pudding wouldn't run away. That's for sure. I won't leave my sister behind and run away. What a smart kid. You're so logical. The man admired the 3-year-old kid from the bottom of his heart. When Pudding squatted down to use the bathroom, she was still looking around, trying to find a breakthrough. At the same time, she asked, Hey, Blockhead, why didn't you be a good person? Why did you become a kidnapper? Blockhead? Me? The man named Dahai froze. Of course. There's only the 2 of us here. If it wasn't you, who else would I be talking about? Pudding said proudly. The man was confused by Pudding's words. What? Is my question that hard to answer? It's no use being a good person. I used to want to be a good person, but in the end, I was still looked down upon. I fucking understand this society. No matter what you do, people don't care about the process. They care about the result. As long as you have money, even if you steal or rob, people will look up to you. If you don't have money, no matter how noble or great you are, it's useless. In this day and age, if Lei Feng was still alive, he would be called an idiot. The man was probably distressed as well, so he complained to Pudding all at once. But you know what? Good and evil will always be rewarded. The 3-character classic says that people are born good. I believe that you're a good person and wouldn't walk down this path for no reason. You must be forced by life, right? Forced by life? Yes, I guess so. Haha, if I had a choice, I wouldn't have ended up like this. Blockhead, you just need money. I think you're just a small fry here. Even if you get the ransom from my dad, you won't get much of it. The majority will go to your boss. So, do you want to work with me? Work with you? Don't mess around. The man was about to turn around. Don't look back. If I expose myself, I'll be very angry. Pudding reminded him seriously. Haha, okay. I won't look back. You won't expose yourself. Don't beat me up. The man suddenly realized that this child was very funny. Although he was small, he always spoke in a mature and experienced tone. So, do you want to work together? Pudding asked calmly. How to cooperate? The man obviously just wants to tease her. You find a chance to let us go, and I'll ask my daddy to give you a lot of money. For example, you can only get $2 million for kidnapping us here, but I can ask my daddy to give you 10 times more. Just for you alone, $20 million. That's a good deal, right? It's a good deal. Sounds good. The blockhead smiled. If you let us go, my dad will be grateful to you. Not only will he not call the police, but he will also let you take the money with a clear conscience. You can rest easy. If you got the money by kidnapping us, you will always be the most wanted criminal. Even if you have the money, you can only live a sneaky life. In comparison, I believe I don't need to say more. You will understand which one you want. Pudding calmly analyzed the current situation for him. The man actually realized that this little brat's words made a lot of sense. If he had a choice, who would want to be a wanted criminal who hid from place to place? Seeing that he was a little shaken, Pudding struck while the iron was hot and said, "Technology is so advanced now, it's very easy for the police to catch people. Actually, kidnapping is a serious crime. If the nature of the crime is bad, you will be locked up for decades. You don't look very old, so why waste your youth in prison? You must have parents and elders who miss you. Don't let them worry about you. Shut up, little brat. Stop talking." Pudding's words touched the man's heart. He realized that he couldn't take it anymore. Chapter 1981. You don't want me to say it because I know what's on your mind, right? No, it's not what you're saying. I finally have a chance to be alone with you. If it were anyone else, I definitely wouldn't say this to you. Do you know why I chose you? Pudding pressed. Why? Because out of all of you, you're the only one who seems to have a conscience. There's no way to save those people. Their hearts have been invaded by demons. Sometimes heaven and hell can be decided in an instant. The most important thing is how you choose. You're not a smart person. Maybe you're not that smart, but you're definitely not a crazy person. You're involved in this because you need money, right? How do you know I need money? The man named Dahai was indeed dumbfounded. He didn't think that the child would guess what was on his mind. He was indeed the one with the worst family background. He was also the one who needed money the most. It was also his first time doing something like this. Those people all took care of his meals. Not only were they petty thieves, but they were also involved in child trafficking. One of them was from his hometown. When he found him, he said that he was responsible for taking care of 2 children. After he was done, he would give him 200,000 yuan. He thought it was feasible. Moreover, his family was indeed short of money. His mother was hospitalized because of a brain hemorrhage, and he had to scrape together the money to pay for it. Later, even his relatives and friends didn't want to help him because they thought he didn't have the ability to pay them back. He told his father that he wanted to work and think of a way out. However, as soon as he entered the city, he boarded a pirate ship. At first, he thought that it wouldn't be difficult to catch 2 children. Later, he realized that the money wasn't that easy to get. From what he heard, the children's parents were very influential. This was extremely dangerous. If he was caught by the police, he would be dead. If he was caught by the children's parents, he would also be dead. However, there was no turning back. He could only bite the bullet and do it. Now that Pudding's words hit the nail on the head, he began to waver. Because if you weren't forced into a corner, you wouldn't do something like this. Looking at you, I know that your parents are honest people. You're the same, big dummy. You're not a bad person. Pudding repeatedly brainwashed the man named C, and the effect was obvious. My parents are indeed simple and kind people. They've been farming in the mountains and have never seen the world. They've never been to a KTV. Every penny they earn is hard-earned money, but I've embarrassed them. I didn't even have enough money to treat my mother. I'm really a good-for-nothing. What's wrong with your mother? Pudding caught the main point of the question again. Cerebral hemorrhage. It's quite serious. He's still in a hospital in the county. Unfortunately, we don't have any money, so we won't be able to stay for long. That's why I'm willing to do anything. When he said that, Dahai was filled with regret. He hugged his head and squatted on the ground. Pudding slowly got up and pulled up her pants. She walked over. Actually, she didn't want to poop at all. She just wanted to take the opportunity to see the situation outside and find a breakthrough. She placed her little hand on Dahai's shoulder. Listen to me, blockhead. Cerebral hemorrhage isn't a serious illness. My mommy is an outstanding doctor. My mommy was the one who operated on my grandfather when he was so seriously ill. Really? Your mother is a doctor? What a coincidence. Dahai turned around. Chapter 1982. Yeah, he's a famous doctor at Southside. You can ask around if you don't believe me. Also, my dad graduated from Harvard Medical School, the best university in the world. He specializes in neurosurgery. I think your mom's illness won't be a problem in their hands. They're amazing. Really? Don't lie to me. Don't worry. Although I'm a kid, I know I can't lie. If you can find a chance to let us go, I'll ask my parents to treat your mom's illness. I'll also give you a lot of money so that you won't have to worry about food and clothing for the rest of your lives. Dahai was in a difficult position when he heard that Pudding would let them go. I've said what I need to say. I won't force you. You can weigh the pros and cons. Pudding saw that the time was right and didn't want to say too much. She believed that a normal person would make a clear choice. You're right, but the problem isn't that simple. There are so many people here, and they're all outlaws. Even if I let you go, I won't have a chance. I'm afraid that before I let you go, the plan will be exposed and we'll all be finished. As soon as Dahai said this, footsteps came from inside. Pudding immediately let go of his hand and stepped back. You've been taking a dump for so long. What are you waiting for? The monkey-faced man walked out and looked at them impatiently. Ah, kids have diarrhea. Dahai smiled. Are you done? Hurry up and bring him in. Big brothery might come. If anything goes wrong, you'll be held responsible. I know. Dahai immediately picked Pudding up and walked inside. Pudding didn't speak on the way. Indeed, Dahai was convinced by her words. However, he didn't have the power to let them go. Those people were all there, unless he sent them away. But that wasn't possible. Pudding was troubled. She lowered her head and didn't speak. She was thinking about something else. When they returned to the warehouse, she immediately ran over. Sis, how is it? What's the situation? This is an abandoned factory. There are no people around. It's desolate and covered in weeds. Even if we escape, it'll be difficult. But I'm sure that we haven't left Sea City. That's much easier. I'm sure Daddy will find us. How are you so sure that we're still in the city? Little Bean was surprised. Because I saw the TV tower. Although it's far away, I can't be wrong. It's the most iconic TV tower here. Perfect. As long as we don't leave this place, the chances of Daddy and Mommy finding us are very high. Sis, you're so smart. Little Bean looked at Pudding with admiration. I want to turn that big blockhead over to my side, but how is it? It didn't work? Little Bean was curious. Well, you can say that. I was too naive. Even if he wants to help us, he doesn't have the ability to do so. The one who really has the final say here is that monkey-faced man, but he's definitely a fugitive, and he won't listen to us. Fugitives? Oh my God, then will they kill us? Killing the hostage. Sis, I'm so scared. Little Bean started to lose her composure again. They won't. Don't worry. At least, before they get the ransom, we won't be in any danger, Pudding said with certainty. I really don't know which bastard kidnapped us. Fuck, when I get out, I'm gonna chop him into pieces. Little Bean was so angry that she pouted and cursed. Inside another factory in the suburbs, Big Brother Huamin is here, one of his subordinates reported. Huasi slowly stood up from his chair. Chapter 1983. Bring her in. Huasi was restless, as if he had been waiting for this moment for a long time. When Huamin was brought in, she was wearing an eye mask. Ever since she got into the van, her mouth was gagged, and she had to wear an eye mask. It seemed like Huasi was a lot more cautious than before. Then, after many twists and turns, they walked through many places and seemed to have passed through many small paths before they finally reached their destination. Huamin almost got carsick from the bumpy ride. Since she didn't have time to change her clothes when she got off the plane, Huamin was still wearing summer clothes. She was wearing the same clothes she wore in Hawaii. It was a light blue long-sleeve shirt with an A-line skirt that went past her knees. She looked elegant and smart. Her hands were clean, and she didn't have any jewelry on her. Huamin was a very low-key person. She didn't show off her wealth, and she wouldn't wear branded clothes on streets. Not many people would think that she was the young president of GK who had been in charge of the company for 3 years. Take off her eye mask, Huasi ordered. Then, one of his subordinates pulled off Huamin's eye mask. She looked up, and her vision gradually became clearer. Huasi walked over to her and removed the gauze from her mouth. Huamin, you didn't expect me to come back, did you? It's really you. Huamin glanced at Huasi's face indifferently. They hadn't seen each other for 4 years, and he had changed a lot. His facial features were much more mature and much older. His skin had also turned dark, and there were some scars of various sizes on his face that were not very obvious. Huasi was wearing a black leather jacket. His entire body emitted a vicious aura. He looked at Huamin with eyes full of hatred. I'm curious, why didn't you look for Huasi-chan? Why did you look for me? After all, he's your first target. Right? Huh. That bastard Huasi-chan is very cautious. He's not that easy to catch. In comparison, you're easier to catch. Huasi smiled viciously. Where are my daughters? I want to see them. Let her have a look, Huasi instructed. One of the men walked over with a phone in his hand. Looking at the video, it should be from another place. The twins sat in the warehouse. They looked so pitiful that Huamin couldn't help but cry when he saw them. Huasi, keep your word. I'm here now. Let my daughter go. I'm sorry, Huamin. I never keep my word. Are you still a man? Huamin was annoyed. I came back this time with a clear goal. It's for revenge. So, I don't care if my methods are honorable or not. I don't care if I'm a man or not. Even if you're trying to provoke me, I won't let you go. You, your child, your husband. I'll send your entire family to hell, step by step. Then, Huamin pinched Huamin's chin. Huamian stared at Huasi with wide eyes. She realized that not only did Huasi's appearance change, but his heart also changed greatly. It could be said that he was blinded by hatred and had lost his mind. Huasi, the children are innocent. If you want to kill them, just kill me. Don't drag them into this. I beg you. Huamin, who had always been stubborn, was still willing to beg Huasi for the children. Don't fucking play this game with me. Do you think you're worthy of begging me? When you teamed up with that bastard Huasi-chan to attack us, why didn't you think about how innocent my mother, sister, and I were? Do you know what kind of life I've been living abroad for the past few years? Do you know how many times I almost died? Now, you have the audacity to talk to me about being innocent. What fucking joke. Let me tell you, you're already here. You don't have a choice. Just wait for your death, haha. After hearing this, Huamin's heart sank. At the same time, inside the Hua mansion, Boss, Miss Hua, and the twins were taken away by Huasi's men. Huasi-chan hadn't been in a good mood for the past few days. He basically stayed at home to recuperate. When he heard this news, he immediately sat up from his bed. When did this happen? Chapter 1984. It's been a few hours. A few hours, and you're only telling me now? Huasi-chan was about to explode from anger. I was thinking, Boss, you're not feeling well, so I didn't want to disturb you. I'll deal with you later. Huasi-chan got out of bed angrily and hurriedly put on his clothes. Huasi-chan knew about Huamin's return a long time ago, but he didn't tell Huamin. He did remind her out of kindness, but Huamin didn't take it seriously. She even thought that Huasi-chan was trying to scare her. This time, Huasi came back prepared and had been waiting for a long time. Huamian always felt like she was being followed, but at that time, Huamian didn't know that Huasi was back and didn't realize that danger was approaching. Boss, what should we do now? I asked you guys to follow Huasi. Where's he? Where's he hiding now? Huasi Qian rubbed his temples and asked with a sour expression. He used to live in the abandoned factory near Huairo building. The subordinate answered carefully. What about now? Huasi Qian noticed that the subordinate was talking about before. Now, I'm not sure. Our people lost track of him, and his people ditched us. I think they moved to another place. What did you say? Huasi Qian was really angry now. Boss, it's not our fault. Huasi's people are too cunning. They seem to have noticed that we were following them, so they played a game of cat and mouse with us. Now that they've ditched us, they must have found another place to hide. So, we can't find Huasi now, right? Huasi Qian asked seriously. Yes, boss. As soon as the subordinate finished speaking, Huasi Qian stood up and slapped him so hard that he saw stars. You guys can't even deal with an idiot like Huasi, and you still have the nerve to say that you're my people. You're all useless. Huasi Qian rarely lost his cool like this. Boss, Huasi is different this time. He's very cautious. Really, the subordinate seemed to be explaining. However, Huasi Qian wasn't in the mood to listen. What's the situation? Du Qin and Su Yunou. They know. They're at the Municipal Public Security Bureau, and they're looking for Huasi. But Miss Huasi, is she in danger? Upon hearing that Huamian was in Huasi's hands, Huasi Qian's heart sank. I think Huasi will come looking for me. Huasi Qian held onto his phone. He was almost certain that Huasi wouldn't let him go. After capturing Huamin, Huasi would come looking for him as well. Inside the abandoned factory, Huamin's hands and feet were tied up, and he looked extremely haggard. Huasi asked someone to open the door in a dark corner and walked in. Then, he took out his phone and took a short video of Huamin. Are you going to ask my husband for a ransom? Huamin was exhausted. Ransom? No, there's no rush. Haha, we have more important things to do. Then, Huasi sent the video to Huasi Qian. Ding-ling. When Huasi Qian received the video on his phone and saw Huamin in such a pitiful state, his heart ached. 1 minute later, Huasi called. The number was garbled, so it couldn't be tracked. Huasi Qian, did you see the video? How do you want to use it? Do you feel bad for her? Ha, your little sister. Huasi's tone was vicious and mocking. Don't touch her. What do you want? We can talk about it. Huasi Qian was very worried about Huamin. You seem nervous. Why? Do you love her a lot? Huasi laughed. Chapter 1985. Huasi, there's no point in talking about this right now. Just tell me what you want. I want you to come here alone, or I'll kill Huamin right now. You don't want the ransom? Huasi Qian was a little surprised. You might not know, but I don't need money now. I made a name for myself in the outside world. Compared to money, I want revenge more. I'll wait for you for an hour. If you don't come, Huamin will become a corpse. Don't touch her. I'll go. Huasi Qian didn't even think about it and immediately agreed to Huasi's request. It seems like I was right. You really do love her. Ha! Huasi laughed maniacally. How do I find you? Take your phone and go out alone. I'll send someone to find you. Remember, don't play any tricks with me. If I find out that someone is following you, I'll kill Huamin immediately. Huasi found Huasi Qian's weakness. Every time Huamin was mentioned, Huasi would become extremely nervous. Don't worry, I won't play any tricks. But if I find out that anything happened to Mian, you're dead meat. Huasi Qian was also full of threats. After hanging up, Huasi Qian put on his clothes and went out. Boss, where are you going? You don't have to follow me. That's all. Boss. His subordinates were still worried. Get out of my way. Are you not going to listen to me? Are you rebelling? Huasi Qian was furious. Boss, we're just worried that you'll be alone. Don't worry. I watched that idiot Huasi grow up. He wasn't my opponent in the past, and he won't be in the future. I know what I'm doing. Just stay at home and wait for my news. All right. Is there any news from Huayin? I went to her place and found that she and her daughter were gone. She didn't go to work either. It seems like Huasi already made arrangements. Qian worriedly walked out the door. On the other side, in the municipal bureau, what did Shin Mingxi say? Can you contact Hua Yinyan? Qin Shu asked. So you shook his head. I just called her, but she suddenly couldn't be reached. She's not at work or at home. Even her children are missing. It seems like Hua Yinyan came prepared. Forget it. You don't have to look for her. Even if you find her, it's useless. Hua Si and Shun Jiani ran away and left Hua Yinyan behind. That's enough to prove that she doesn't mean much to them. Qin Shu analyzed. Then are we just going to sit here and wait for death? Wait for him to call us for ransom? What if he doesn't want the money? So Yu was a little scared. He was afraid that Hua Si would give up everything for revenge, including money. No one is against money, right? Hua Si will definitely call. Qin Shu was also in a bad mood. However, for the sake of the big picture, he had to stay calm. Therefore, he could only pretend to be calm. All right, your sister knows about this too. She said she'll be back tomorrow. So you glanced at Qin Shu. How did she know? Qin Shu frowned slightly. Then, so you told him about Qin Ning's call. Qin Shu didn't say anything else. Inside an abandoned factory in the suburbs. Sis, hurry up. We're almost there. See, why did you bring me here? Hua Yinyan was confused. To show you something good. Something that can make us rich. Hua Si smiled sinisterly. Chapter 1986. Hua Yinyan was still immersed in the joy of reuniting with Hua Si. Before she could think about it, Hua Si took her and the kids away. The kids were left in the storage room. They were playing with a big-breasted woman who had heavy makeup on and was dressed flirtatiously. Hua Si said that he was going to show her something good. She was very curious. It wasn't until they walked into an abandoned factory that she began to feel uneasy. Big brother. A few men were eating lunch. When they saw Hua Si walk in, they immediately stood up. MHM, this is my sister. She's not an outsider, Hua Si introduced. Hello, big sister. The hooligans casually bowed to her. Hua Yinyan was very uncomfortable. See? Who are they? They're all my subordinates, Hua Si said nonchalantly. Come, sis. I'll show you our chips. Then, Hua Si led Hua Yinyan into a small storage room. When they opened the door, they saw the twins curled up in a corner eating lunch. They are? Hua Yinyan was shocked when she saw the kids. That's right. They're Hua Min's twins. I've already caught them. With them in my hands, I can get as much money as I want from Qin Shu. Ha! See? How? How would you do this? Hua Yinyan looked at Hua Si as if she didn't know him. She couldn't accept this. Why can't I do this? Who was the one who destroyed our family? We were a good family and Dad loved us so much. It was all because of that bastard Hua Min and that bastard Hua Siqian. They plotted against us and forced Mom and I to run away. You lived a miserable life for the past few years. But now, sis, no one will bully us anymore. After Hua Si came back, he didn't immediately look for Hua Yinyan. He was afraid that his whereabouts would be exposed. It was only after the twins and Hua Min were captured that he sent someone to pick up Hua Yinyan and the children and leave secretly. He planned to take Hua Yinyan and leave this place after he got the ransom and got his revenge. Where's Mom? I want to see her. Hua Yinyan thought Hua Si was crazy and irrational. Therefore, he wanted to see his mother and understand the current situation. Mom is still in Vietnam. She hasn't come back yet. Vietnam? Why did you go to Vietnam? Hua Yinyan was stunned. It's a long story. I'll tell you when I'm free. Let's go eat. Then, Hua Si closed the door and left with Hua Yinyan. Sis, do you know the person who came just now? The woman behind the bad guy? Little Bean whispered. I've never seen her before. I don't know who she is, but it seems like they're in the same group. Pudding analyzed. How much longer do we have to eat this bento box? It's disgusting. I want to eat fried chicken and hamburgers. Little Bean pouted and looked pitiful. Good girl. Hold on a little longer. We'll be out soon. Little Bean was a picky eater because of her gluttony. She couldn't stand eating bento boxes all the time. In the end, Pudding stood up and knocked on the door out of concern for her little sister. Someone come quickly. Someone come quickly. Dahai, go and see what the kid is yelling about. The men waved their hands impatiently and gestured for Dahai to come and see what was going on. Dahai opened the door to the storage unit and glanced at Pudding. He couldn't tell who was the older sister and who was the younger sister. "It's me, Big Dummy," Pudding said in a low voice. "What's wrong?" After yesterday's incident, Dahai had obviously established an invisible revolutionary friendship with Pudding. Chapter 1987. The food is cold and disgusting. My sister can't eat it anymore. Can you give her something else? Ham is fine too. Please. Pudding put her hands together and begged pitifully. The man named Dahai saw her like this and felt sorry for her. "Wait for me." After saying that, Dahai turned around and went back to the table. He took a ham and walked over. "Here. Thank you, Big Dummy. When we get out of here, we'll repay you." Pudding smiled sweetly. "Hey, let's not talk about this. Go eat." Dahai brought food and water to the twins every day. He suddenly felt that they were very cute, especially Pudding. She was as logical as an adult. It was amazing. Pudding took the ham that Dahai gave her and went back to the corner. "Sis, let's split it. I don't like meat. I'll get fat. You have it." Pudding and Little Bean declined modestly. Outside the door, several hooligans finished their meal and continued to play cards to pass the time. "Dahai, what the fuck are you doing? Play your cards." The monkey-faced man kicked Dahai. Oh, he came back to his senses. "What's wrong with you? Why are you so distracted?" "Brotherly, what do you think? What we're doing isn't a crime? Kidnapping such young children?" Dahai's conscience began to feel uneasy. "Hey, what's wrong? Did you find your conscience? If you're scared, then quit. That's how it is these days. The brave die of overeating while the cowardly die of starvation. Wealth comes from danger. If you don't even have the guts to do this, then you should go home and drink milk. Don't fucking stay in this world." "No, what I mean is after Big Brother E gets the money, will he let the children go?" Dahai asked worriedly. "You're thinking too much. We just need to get the money and be done with it. After that, whether Big Brother E kills or lets the children go has nothing to do with us. Don't fucking worry about it. Like a woman, play your cards." Dahai's heart was in a mess. He didn't want anything to happen to the twins. Whenever he thought about the bright and lively children dying here, he would feel terrible. But it didn't help, because even if he wanted to let them go, the others wouldn't agree. Meanwhile, Huasi brought Huiyin back to his home. "Sis, look who else I caught." Huasi pointed at the corner of the warehouse. Huiyin looked up and was dumbfounded. "Is that Huamin? I'm good, aren't I? She's actually very easy to catch. As long as we catch the child first, we don't have to worry that Huamin bitch won't come." "See, don't you think you're being too?" Before Huiyin could finish speaking, a subordinate came in and reported, "Huasi Qian is here, boss." "Very good. Everyone is finally here." Huasi patted Huiyin's shoulder. "Sis, I'll go out and take a look. You can go in and talk to that bitch Huamin. Give her a few slaps to vent your anger. Umph, she's now a piece of meat on our chopping block." Huasi thought that Huiyin hated Huamin to the core, so he left after saying that. Huiyin opened the door to the warehouse with trembling hands and walked in. "Huamin," she called out softly. "Yin Yin." Huamin looked up, his voice weak. His cheeks were red and swollen. It was obvious that he was hit. "Oh my God, I'm sorry. I didn't know C was back, and I didn't know he—" Huiyin ran over and squatted beside Huamin, crying quietly. "Don't cry. It's not your fault. I know. I just saw your children. They're locked up there too." "My children? My children? Are they okay?" Huamin's voice became emotional when he heard about his children. Chapter 1988. Huamin, don't worry. The kids are fine. They're not hurt. They're safe. Huiyin immediately comforted him. "Where are they locked up?" "They're in an abandoned factory on the other side." "Then where is this place?" "This? I don't know. When I came here, I was also brought in with a blindfold. C might be on guard against me. I think." Huamin nodded after hearing Huiyin's words. "Are you okay? You don't look well." "I'm fine. As long as the kids are fine, I'm not worried about anything else." "Don't be afraid. I'll find a way to save your kids, Hui Yin said sincerely as she held Huamin's hand. Thank you, Yin. At this moment, Huamin was extremely grateful. Don't say that. When I was bullied, you stood up for me. I'm not that heartless. Plus, I know that you and Huasi Qian are enemies. What happened back then wasn't your fault. You didn't cause Dad's death either. C was too stubborn. I'll slowly convince him. I won't let him hurt you guys. Right now, Huasi's head is clouded by hatred. He won't listen to you. Don't tell him so that he won't be alerted. If you have a chance to get out, please tell my husband immediately and ask him to come and save us. But I think that since Huasi brought you here, he probably won't let you out. He definitely won't give you a chance to call for help. The worst-case scenario is that you don't have to worry about me at this critical moment. You have to think of a way to save my kids, okay? Huamin held Hui Yin's hand tightly. Don't worry. I'll do my best. I'll think of a way. I know the kids are very important to you, Hui Yin said to Huamin. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps came from behind them. Huamin gave Hui Yin a look, and she immediately retreated to the back vigilantly. Miss Yin, please come out first. Brother, he asked me to bring this woman out. Okay. Hui Yin nodded. Huamian made way for the man. Then, the two men dragged Huamian out roughly. Hui Yin cautiously followed after her. Sis, there's nothing for you to do here. Go back to that little room and rest. Your daughter was looking for you just now. Huasi turned around and said to Hui Yin, See, don't go overboard. Leave some leeway for others. Yin advised worriedly. In the past few years, she had experienced a lot, and she had seen through many things. He knew that no matter how deep the hatred was, there was no need to kill someone. Back then, Huamin stood up for Hui Yin, and he was willing to offend Wei Liao's little sister, Wei Ying. Many bystanders thought that Huamin was being a saint and wanted to save the woman who once gave him a hard time. However, the truth was Huamin saw that Hui Yin had changed for the better and wanted to be a good person, so he wanted to give her a chance. Plus, she was a woman, and it was not easy for her to raise a child. Huamin was also a mother, and he knew how it felt to be a mother. That was why he reached out to Hui Yin without hesitation. Who would have thought that now that the tiger had fallen from grace, Hui Yin's last ray of hope was really on her? It seemed like there was a saying that a good deed begets a good deed. Back then, if Huamin had also bullied Hui Yin and humiliated her, her last ray of hope would have been gone. If that was the case, then the last chance of survival today would be gone. That was why it was said that a person should have a kind heart. Okay, then I'll go see the child. Hui Yin knew that Huasi didn't want her to be there. Therefore, she didn't force him to stay. She turned around and was brought to a small house on the other side. This was where Huasi lived. Other than him, there was also a woman. When Huan walked in, her daughter was standing on the floor, and the woman was smoking on the bed. She had one leg crossed over the other, and she had heavy makeup on. Her hair was disheveled, and she looked very dispirited. Little girl, do you want a bite? Ha ha, the woman said to Hui Yin's daughter, and then she giggled. Chapter 1989. Hui Yin immediately hugged her daughter. Tian, are you okay? Mommy. When the little girl saw her mother, she immediately ran into her mother's arms, looking very scared. Don't be scared. Mommy's here. Hello, big sister. When a woman saw Hui Yin walk in, she sat up straight and held a cigarette between her right index and middle finger. Who are you? Didn't C tell you? I'm C's lover. The woman smiled like a flower. He didn't tell me. Hui Yin looked at the woman cautiously. She didn't have a good impression of her. Oh, then he probably didn't have time to tell you. It's fine. I'll tell you then. C and his mommy, oh yeah, that's your mommy, ran to Vietnam and lived a miserable life. The man your mommy found was addicted to gambling all the time, but he couldn't pay off his debt with your mommy. Your little brother, oh, that C, was almost beaten to death to save your mommy. I was passing by, so I saved them and brought them to the Vietnam gang. Vietnam gang? Well, Yin was confused. It's the #1 mafia in Vietnam. Because of me, Si joined the Vietnamese mafia. He worked hard and did a lot of big things, winning the boss' favor. That's why he was able to gain a foothold in the mafia. As his benefactor and lover, I won't let him go unavenged. This time we're back to do something big. What do you want to do? Hua Yin had a feeling that something bad was going to happen. Did Si not tell you? The woman narrowed her foxy eyes and looked at Hua Yin. Yin held her daughter tightly and shook her head. Ha! If he didn't tell you, then just wait for the news. After this, we won't go back to Vietnam. We'll go to a new place and start over. You should be glad that Si didn't forget about you all these years. He even came back to pick you up. Hua Yin felt bad when she heard this. She could tell from this woman that Hua Si had been living a hard life for the past few years. Her mother, Shun Jianni's adulterer, was such a scumbag that he almost killed her and her son. Luckily, he had made it through. But this time, even if he wanted to take revenge, he should have gone after Hua Xiqian. Why did he want to capture Hua Min and the child? Hua Yin felt really uncomfortable. She held her daughter's hand and was about to go out to talk to Si. She heard the woman behind her say, "It's best if you stay here with your child. If we torture him outside, it will be very cruel. Your child won't be able to take it." After saying that, the woman picked up the purple fur coat, put it on, and walked out while swaying her butt. After hearing that, Hua Yin gave up the idea of going out. She sat in the small room with her daughter, Tian Tian, in her arms. She was panicking and didn't know what to do. She wanted to call Shun Mingxi and ask him to tell Qin Shu to come and save Hua Min and the twins. However, when she touched her phone, she realized that someone had taken her phone away. It seemed like they were indeed on guard against her. Inside the empty factory, after Hua Xiqian was brought in, his hands and feet were tied tightly. The men shoved Hua Xiqian, who immediately fell to the ground and fell on his face. "Bastard, you're finally in my hands." Hua Xiqian cursed as he grabbed onto Hua Xiqian's collar. "Ha! Idiot, long time no see." Hua Xiqian smiled slightly. He greeted him in such a special way. Chapter 1990. "Asshole, how dare you look down on me? I'm going to kill you." Hua Xiqian's words provoked Hua Si. He punched Hua Xiqian's face. Then, he kicked Hua Xiqian mercilessly on the head and body with his leather shoes. However, this man didn't even make a sound, as if he wasn't the one being hit. "Si, stop hitting him. If he dies, how are we going to get money?" A woman's voice came from behind. Hua Si immediately stopped what he was doing. Then, he grabbed Hua Xiqian's hair and dragged him up from the ground. Hua Xiqian's face was bloody as he looked in front of him. He looked at the woman behind Hua Si and sneered. "I was wondering, how did this idiot suddenly become so smart? It turns out, he has an incompetent advisor, and she's a woman." "Who are you calling an incompetent advisor? Who are you calling a woman? I'm going to kill you." Hua Si had a bad temper and was provoked. He wanted to continue, but was stopped by the woman. "Si, I told you not to be impulsive." "Qingqing, I can't stand people insulting you." Hua Si looked at Ruan Qingqing in a daze. "It's okay. You won't lose anything from being insulted. Plus, he's in our hands now. What are you afraid of?" Then, the woman walked over and looked at Hua Xiqian with a smile. "President Hua, nice to meet you." "Nice to meet you." Ruan Qingqing smiled coquettishly. Ruan Qingqing, 31 years old, originally from Vietnam. When you were 15 years old, you were kidnapped and sold to Huanan, China. You became the wife of a cripple who was over 50 years old. Later, you couldn't stand the abuse and ran back to Vietnam. You didn't dare to go home. You met the leader of the Vietnamese gang at the red light district and became one of his many mistresses. Because you're smart, knowledgeable, and full of ideas, Zai Ming fell in love with you. What the fuck are you talking about? Hua Si was about to punch him. However, Ruan Qingqing stopped him. "Huh? Si, let him speak. He's right. I'm not afraid of people finding out what I've done." Yuan Qingqing smiled seductively. "I knew it. How could an idiot suddenly be enlightened? He's so cautious and meticulous. So he knows you. How lucky, haha." Hua Xiqian laughed as he spat out a mouthful of blood. "President Hua, you've done a good job in gathering intelligence. You investigated me thoroughly. Unfortunately, you're in our hands now. We have the final say in your life and death. At least you won't let me die yet. After all, you want the entire Hua Corporation's funds, right? Huasiqian said confidently. Smart. So what do we have to do to make you hand over the money? You know that we don't actually want to torture you. After all, I don't want to be so rough with you. Ruan Qingqing smiled as she reached out her hand and ran it across Huasiqian's unbuttoned chest. What if I say, no matter what, I won't give you the money? Huasiqian smiled evilly. Then that's easy. Men, bring that bastard Huamin over here, Huasi ordered fiercely. Then, one of his subordinates dragged Huamin over to Huasiqian. Huasiqian hadn't seen Huamin in a long time. Meeting her under these circumstances was really, what do you think? Are you going to thank me? It's not that easy for you to see her, Yuan Qingqing said with a smile as she played with her fingernails. Huamin raised his head and looked into Huasiqian's eyes. Both of them had a complicated look in their eyes, but neither of them said anything. Chapter 1991. I really have to thank you, Miss Ruan. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to see my little sister. Ruan Qingqing slowly walked up to Huamin, reached out her hand, and slowly lifted his chin. Then, she looked at him carefully. The truth is, I'm really curious. I've seen many photos of her, and I've looked at her for a long time. No matter how I look at her, I don't think she's a great beauty. She doesn't fit the standards of Chinese beauty either, but she's so beautiful that all of you guys are crazy about her. You, Suyu, Qin, you guys are all idiots. So, I thought that when I see Huamin in person, I have to take a good look at her. What's so special about her? Is it her face or her body? But I'm really disappointed. She's not pretty, and her breasts aren't as big as mine. But she's not a whore. You're. As soon as Huasiqian finished speaking, Huasi viciously kicked him in the stomach. He used all of his strength in this kick, and Huasiqian flew a few meters away. His face was pale and weak. Huamin's heart ached as he looked at him. Although he hated Huasiqian, they were both hostages. Huamin, do you know how hard it is to catch Huasiqian? I've been back for a long time, and I've been scouting the area. It's not that hard to catch you and your child. But this Huasiqian is very cautious. Every day, his whereabouts are very well planned. I had no idea where to start, until I found out a secret. Do you know what that secret is? Huasi looked at Huamin viciously and smiled. Huamin didn't say anything. He only coldly glanced at Huasi's face. Don't look at me like that. You know everything, don't you? Huasiqian is a big pervert. He loves you, and he slept with the person who was his little sister for many years. So, as soon as I sent him the video of you being captured, he immediately came to die. Haha, there's a saying that goes, what is love? Everything has its weakness. I can't believe that a person like Huasiqian would care about someone. I'm surprised, but it's good. It's much easier to deal with someone like him. Huasi, stop talking nonsense. I won't take a single cent from you for treating me like this. Huasiqian was lying on the floor. Even though he was in a pitiful situation, he still laughed arrogantly. Don't worry, you won't be able to say in a while. To hua, to huamin, to hua, to hua, was to hua, to hua, to hua, to hua, to hua, huamin. You idiot. Let me tell you, I was the one who did everything back then. It had nothing to do with Huamin. You can go and check if she owns any shares of the whole corporation. We've been enemies for a long time. How can you use my enemy to threaten me? Are you stupid? Huasiqian deliberately tried to confuse the situation. I don't need you to tell me that. Do you dare say that Huamin had nothing to do with what happened back then? Then why didn't she do anything when Dad needed money? Why didn't she ask GK to help us? I can't believe you're Dad's daughter. You must be blind. What kind of child would watch her father die? Huamian, you're such an ungrateful person. Huasi's hatred towards Huamin was beyond anyone's imagination. Huasi, first of all, I want to say, I'm not Hua Zhenghai's daughter, so I don't think it's wrong for me not to lend him money. Secondly, He didn't care about me and my mother for many years. He didn't fulfill his responsibilities as a father, so calling me an ungrateful bastard is hilarious. I don't know where that came from. You hate me because I'm living a better life than you. You're living a better life while you're living like a mouse. So, you're just jealous, right? Huamin couldn't hold it in any longer and began to argue with Huasi. Huamin's words seemed to have angered him. He slapped Huamin hard on the cheek. Slap. Huamin felt a burning sensation spread across his entire face. Huamin was already numb. Huasi Qian's heart ached as he watched. Chapter 1992. Huasi, don't you just want to get revenge? Come at me if you can. Hano, I know you're a tough guy and won't admit defeat. So, I've decided to use a different method. I think you'll be more nervous if I hit Huamin. Huasi smiled proudly. Huasi Qian's expression changed drastically. He almost got up from the ground and charged at Huasi. However, Huasi's subordinates held him down. Fuck! Huasi, you son of a bitch! Huasi Qian lost his cool and cursed. Behave yourself. Huasi's subordinates punched and kicked Huasi Qian so that he couldn't move. I haven't even started, and you're already nervous. Say, if I get a few buddies to rape Huamin in front of you, you'll probably be more excited than her husband, Qin Shu, right? You can't take it, right? Huasi, don't touch her. I'll give you whatever you want. Huasi Qian, who was always fearless and had no weaknesses, finally admitted defeat. He was afraid that Huamin would do something to Huasi. Huasi Qian, you don't have to listen to him. Even if you give him the money, he won't let us go. Don't be an idiot. Huamin looked at Huasi Qian calmly. Shut up, you bitch. I'll deal with you later, Huasi said angrily. Huasi Qian glanced at Huamin and shook his head, signaling for her to stop talking. So, how do you think you can give me the money? Huasi walked over and stepped on Huasi Qian's hand. Huasi Qian used all his strength to press down on Huasi Qian's hand. Of course, I'm willing to give you the money. But if I want to use a large amount of money, I need to do it personally. I can't just give you the password and give you the card, Huasi Qian said with difficulty. So, Huasi raised his eyebrows. So, I suggest you go back with me and do it, Huasi Qian said calmly. Go back with you? Do you think I'm a 3-year-old kid? How'd I know if you're going to play tricks on me? Listen, Huasi Qian, I don't care what you do, but you need to prepare $10 million in cash right now. Also, I want an international check for $500 million. I'll give you 1 hour. Huasi demanded. That's impossible. I don't have enough time. I can't get it. Huasi Qian immediately denied. Huasi Qian's hands of his, Huamin took out a dagger and pressed it against Huasi Qian's face. Huasi, kill me if you dare. Huamin glanced at him coldly. Don't try to provoke me. Do you think I don't have the guts to do it? Huasi glared at him. Huasi, you're a bastard. The Hua family would never do something like that. No wonder Dad said that you're a bastard born from an affair between your mother and your husband. You don't act like a man. You're the same no matter where you go. You're like a rat on the street. All you can do is sneak around. You're always looking at other people's lives better than yours. Huasi Qian was really anxious. Therefore, he said a lot of things to provoke Huasi. As expected, Huasi Qian immediately let go of Huamin and walked over with the dagger. He aimed the dagger at Huasi Qian's thigh and stabbed it down. Huasi Qian didn't even make sound. Huamin's mouth was wide open. He was dumbfounded. Blood splattered everywhere. Chapter 1993. However, Huasi didn't seem to be satisfied yet. He stabbed Huasi Qian's thigh again. That's enough, see? Luckily, Ruan Qingqing stopped him in time. We can't kill him yet. We haven't gotten what we want yet. Ruan Qingqing glanced at Huasi Qian indifferently. Only then did Huasi stop. Huasi Qian ignored his injury and looked at Huamin, who wasn't far away. Seeing that Huamin was fine, he let out a sigh of relief. At this moment, Huamin's feelings were extremely complicated. She knew all too well that Huasi Qian wouldn't intentionally provoke Huasi. Every time Huasi Qian wanted to hurt her, Huasi would deliberately provoke Huasi and then divert his attention. However, The price he had to pay was too high. To be honest, Huamin wasn't worried that Huasi would disfigure her. In her heart, all she cared about was that the children were fine. She wasn't the most beautiful woman in the world, so she didn't care if Huasi Qian hurt her. After all, he couldn't really kill her. Huasi Qian, a wise man, knows better than a fight when the odds are against him. You better do as we say. We don't have time to waste on you. You can divert attention or provoke C. If you can't do as we say, then we'll have to kill Huamin in front of you. Then we'll kill you. Give me my phone. I'll call the company's finance department and ask them to prepare the money. Huasi Qian lay on the ground, his voice weak. Just then, one of Huasi's subordinates walked in and whispered to Huasi, "Boss, we have to change locations quickly. Those people have already started a thorough search of all the factories in the suburbs." Not only did the Municipal Public Security Bureau send out a large number of police officers, but the military also sent out a lot of people. We're in trouble now. We have to end this quickly. I got it. Huasi nodded and turned to look at Ruan Qingqing. Qingqing, there's an accident. What accident? Ruan Qingqing glanced at Huasi. The police from the city bureau and the military have all been mobilized. Many people are searching the surrounding area. Should we move to another place? Since we're already conducting a carpet search, it's not safe to change locations. I don't think they'll be able to come here anytime soon. We'll leave at the pier after we get Huasi Qian's money within an hour. Will this work? Huasi was a little nervous. What? Are you scared? Ruan Qingqing looked at Huasi mockingly. Of course not. I just feel that there are still many things that I haven't done yet. There's no hurry. After you get the money, you can blow this place up or kill the hostages. I just want to get the money. Ruan Qingqing's goal was very clear. All right, we'll do as you say. Huasi nodded and placed Huasi Qian on the other side of the room to monitor his calls to the finance department and the bank manager. Tell your people to send the things to the location we gave them. If they call the police, I'll cut you into pieces. Huasi's dagger was pressed against Huasi Qian's throat. Everyone was busy watching over Huamin and Huasi Qian. Huiyin saw an opportunity and sneaked out the side door with her daughter. Then, using her memory, she arrived at an abandoned factory less than 2 miles away. It was the place where the twins were locked up. Tian, wait for Mommy here. Huiyin comforted her. Where are you going? Mommy? The little girl looked helpless. Chapter 1994. Mommy is going to save the 2 little girls. Stay here and don't go too far. Mommy will be back soon. Seeing that the sky was getting dark, Huiyin thought this was an opportunity. As long as she saved the twins and ran to the grass, her little figure would hide in the grass and no one would find her. Huamin cared so much about the kids, so she had to find a way to save them. After Huiyin finished speaking, she gritted her teeth and left her daughters here. She thought that even if they were discovered, the twins were C's nieces, so he wouldn't do anything to them. Therefore, she mustered up her courage and went to another factory. It was still peaceful here. Huh, someone's here, one of the hooligans said. I think it's the one who came with Big Brother, E, this morning. Is she Big Sister? The hooligans weren't sure. The monkey-faced man stood up. Under the dim light, he looked up. Are you Big Brother Yi's big sister? Yeah, I'm Huiyin. Huiyin pretended to be calm and nodded. Big sister, what's the matter? Did Big Brother Yi give you any orders? The monkey-faced man immediately smiled and asked. Yeah, C told you guys to move. It's not safe here. The kid's father will find us soon. Really? So soon? The man obviously didn't believe her. Yeah, it happened just now. So, I'll take the kids and leave first. You guys stay here and guard. C will give you other tasks later. You? Take the kids with you? Can you do it? It's fine. Just tie the kids' hands and feet. I'm an adult. How can I lose the kids? Or don't you trust me? Well, Yin pretended to be angry. Big sister, we didn't mean it that way. It's just too rash. How about this? I'll ask Big Brother. We'll know once we call him. Then, the monkey-faced man picked up his phone and was about to call Huasi. Huiyin's heart sank. She cursed herself for being so stupid. She didn't do it the first time. She didn't expect this guy to call Huasi to ask for confirmation. If C found out, she would be completely exposed, wouldn't she? Just as he was thinking about this, the man named Dahai suddenly stopped the monkey-faced man. He didn't ask him to call his cell phone. Dahai, what are you doing? Brother, he did call me just now. I picked it up when I went to the washroom, but I forgot about it, because you guys interrupted me when I came back. Haha, big sis is right. Let's hurry up before we're too late. What? Why didn't you fucking tell me earlier that brother E is calling? The man gave Dahai a headshot. Dahai laughed foolishly. Ha ha ha. My memory isn't very good usually. I'm quite silly. It's not like you don't know. Didn't I immediately remember when Big Sister mentioned it? Because Dahai never lied. Everyone immediately believed him. The monkey-faced man glanced at Ho Yin and felt that something was wrong. I still think it's not safe for Big Sister to take care of 2 children by herself. How about this? I'll send one of my brothers to escort you. No, it's really not necessary. I can do it myself. Hui Yin refused again. Big sis, I'll go. I'm strong, Dahai volunteered. The man immediately agreed. Okay, let's do that. Dahai, you go and bring the 2 brats out and follow Big Sis to another place. We'll stay here and wait for Big Brother Yi's news. Okay. Then, Dahai immediately walked towards the warehouse. Chapter 1995. Although Hui Yin still felt uneasy, she had a feeling that Dahai might be on her side. Otherwise, he wouldn't have lied about taking Hui Si's call. With this thought, Hui Yin felt a little more confident. The twins were still calm when they came out. Where are you taking us? Little Bean asked curiously. Let's go somewhere else and talk less, Dahai reminded them in a low voice. Pudding looked at Dahai and felt that his eyes were a little different from usual. He looked a little panicked. Then, she looked at Hui Yin. She wasn't sure what they were going to do, so she didn't say anything. Hui Yin and Dahai walked out with the twins. They were about 10 meters away and couldn't hear anything from inside. Hui Yin looked at Dahai cautiously. Why did you help me just now? Then why did you lie and say that Big Brother E asked you to come? Dahai asked. I want to save these 2 kids. Hui Yin didn't beat around the bush and decided to tell him the truth. That's what I thought too. Dahai smiled. You want to save them too? Hui Yin froze. Annie, why did you save us? Pudding looked at Hui Yin calmly and cautiously. I saw your mommy and promised her that I would do my best to protect you. Where's my mommy? Pudding immediately became nervous. Your mommy, she's fine. Annie will send you back first. Don't lie to me. If my mommy is fine, how did you see her? How did you get here? Auntie, was my mommy captured by bad guys? Where is she? Pudding didn't miss the panic in Hui Yin's eyes. Kids, don't worry. Your mommy is fine. She's just locked up. She asked me to send you back first and find your daddy so that we can save her together. Okay? Hui Yin tried to comfort the twins. But won't that take up a lot of time? Pudding hesitated. She didn't want to leave it all after hearing that her mommy was also arrested. No, but if you don't leave, your daddy won't know where your mommy is locked up. That would be dangerous, Hui Yin explained patiently. Little Bean rolled her eyes and looked at Pudding. Sis, I think this Annie has a point. Let's go. That's right. It's rare for the 2 of you to have such an opportunity. Hurry up and run. Dahai also advised. Pudding turned around and looked at the sea gratefully. Thank you, Blockhead. There's no need to thank me now. Let's run. I'm afraid that they'll call Brother E later and get caught. After that, the 4 of them left in a hurry. Hui Yin found her daughter, Tian. 2 adults and 3 children were running around in the night. There was a commotion not far behind him. Stop, right there. Catch them. Brother E said that we can't let any of them escape. His plan was exposed faster than he had imagined. Behind them, the sharp-tongued and monkey-cheeked people had already caught up. Dahai and Hui Yin were anxious, but they didn't have the strength to do anything. After all, the twins were only 3 years old. No matter how fast they were, they couldn't be that fast. Kids, listen to Annie. Follow this road to the south, and you'll reach the TV tower. That's the city. The entire city is looking for you. Just find any police officer. What about you? Annie, I'll lure them away, We can't let them keep chasing us. But won't you guys be in danger? Pudding was worried. No, don't worry. Hurry up and run. Don't look back. Don't be afraid. Hua Yin pushed Pudding, and Pudding ran with Little Bean. Hua Yin carried Little Bean and ran in another direction to lure some people away. Hai escorted Pudding and Little Bean towards the south. However, the footsteps behind them were getting closer and closer. Other than the hooligans, Huasi's other subordinates also caught up. Chapter 1996. I can't go with you guys. I have to turn back and stop them. You two run. Dahai stopped running with sweat all over his forehead. Big dummy, you can't stay. You've been exposed. They'll kill you. Pudding shook her head and tried to persuade him. It's okay. I'm strong. Normal people can't beat me. Run, Pudding. Keep running south and don't look back. Time was tight, so Dahai decided to stay and stop the pursuers. Big dummy, Pudding said with tears in her eyes. Let's go. Don't waste time. If you really find your daddy, don't forget to thank me. Give me a lot of money as a reward and help me with my mom's surgery. Dahai still remembered Pudding's promise. Pudding was very touched. He didn't think it was a joke. Instead, he took it seriously. Pudding held on to Pudding's hand and ran south. Sis, I can't run anymore. Pudding panted. I told you to eat less, but you always complained. Look, you can't run anymore. Pudding tried her best to drag her sister and run. Although she couldn't go on and didn't know how far she had to run, she still had to run. If she gave up now, then everything that the auntie and the big dummy did would be in vain. Therefore, Pudding ran with all her might. Even if she couldn't run anymore, she wouldn't give up. Sis, I heard everything. There are people chasing us. It looks like the big dummy can't go on. I'll stay and distract them. I'll buy you some time. Go and find Daddy. No, we have to go together. I won't leave you behind. Pudding wouldn't agree no matter what. Sis, we're in a situation like this. Don't be so polite with me. It's a matter of life and death. Mommy is waiting for Daddy to save her. If I stay, they won't do anything to me even if they catch me. They don't want to kill me. Pudding analyzed rationally. Then I'll stay and distract them. You run and find Daddy. Pudding was determined. How can I do that? I'm not as smart as you. I can't remember the route. Even if I run, it's useless. Daddy won't be able to find you. The sisters were pushing each other when they heard a commotion behind them. Quickly head south. Those two brats should have run in that direction. Quickly chase after them. Sis, hurry up and leave, I beg you. Otherwise, it'll be too late. Little Bean used all her strength to push her sister's chest. Pudding felt her tears fall uncontrollably. Little Bean, sis, I love Mommy, I love Daddy, but I love you even more. Although you always quarrel with me and are always cold and arrogant, I'm still proud to have a sister like you. Hurry up and run if Mommy and I can't go back. You have to keep an eye on Daddy and don't let him marry another stepmother. Little Bean tried to make her sister laugh, but Pudding couldn't laugh now. Her little face was covered in tears, as if she had been drenched by a heavy downpour. It was a tragic sight. Okay, don't cry. Run. Be good. Little Bean turned around and ran in the other direction. As he ran, he sang, "Twinkle, twinkle, 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 the sky is full of little stars." He was afraid that his pursuers would not be able to hear him. Pudding didn't dare to waste any time. She wiped her tears and continued to run. As she ran, she cried and mumbled to herself, "Idiot, you're still singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Stars at a time like this." Pudding didn't know how long she had been running. Just as she thought she was about to lose consciousness, she vaguely saw a police car in front of her. "Help," she said weakly, and then her vision turned black and she fainted. Chapter 1997. Qin Shu, Su Yu, and Gao Ran were waiting for news at the Municipal Public Security Bureau. Suddenly, a subordinate reported, a 3-year-old girl was found on Huiran Road. She seems to be Mr. Qin's missing daughter. Mr. Qin, please come and confirm. How many children? Qin Chu couldn't sit still. Only one. Hearing this, Qin Chu's heart sank. Where is she? Let's go check it out. so he was also anxious. He told his grandfather that the military was involved. This time, she was determined to stop that bastard Huasi. He was so heartless that he wouldn't even let a child off the hook when he was seeking revenge. Qin Shu, Su Yu, and Gao Ran immediately rushed to the first hospital after receiving the news. Pudding was sent to the emergency room for an oxygen mask. "Doctor, how's the child?" Qin Shu was also worried sick. "The child is fine. She just ran for too long and lacked oxygen. She'll be fine after a while." Hearing this, everyone let out a sigh of relief. When Qin Shu and the others walked in, they immediately saw Pudding lying on the hospital bed. "It's really Pudding," so he was quite happy. "But why is Pudding alone? Where's Little Bean?" Gao Ran frowned slightly. He had a bad feeling. Qin Shu walked over carefully. Seeing his daughter wearing an oxygen mask, his heart skipped a beat. He reached out his big hand and gently held his daughter's small hand in his palm. At this time, Pudding slowly woke up. "Daddy." Her voice was very weak. "Pudding, don't be afraid. You're safe now." Qin Shu comforted her in a hoarse voice. "Daddy, go save Little Bean and Mommy." Pudding only thought about her sister and her mother. "Okay, we're looking for them. They're in the western suburbs, less than 15 miles away from the TV tower. There are no villages around, only wild grass. There are 2 factories about 2 miles apart. There are a lot of people there. You have to be careful." Pudding told him everything she knew in one breath. Even Gao Ran was shocked. This 3-year-old child actually remembered so much, describing the distance and location so clearly. "Gao Ran, did you hear what my daughter said? Quick, tell your men to search in the western suburbs according to this. Don't waste time. Right away. Don't worry." Gao Ran turned around and walked out to lay out his plan. So you went up to Pudding and said, "Pudding, why didn't Little Bean come out with you? How did you escape?" "There was an auntie with a little daughter. She seemed to be close to the big bad guy who caught us, but she wasn't a bad guy. She said she was Mommy's friend, and Mommy asked her to save us." Pudding explained briefly. Qin Shu immediately reacted. "Hui Yin Yin. Yeah, her name is Yin Yin or something." Pudding nodded. "When we escaped, there were people chasing us. Auntie Yin Yin helped us distract some of them, and I met a big dumb guy who also helped us. In the end, Little Bean helped me distract the last group of people. That's how I escaped. Daddy, you have to go save them." "Okay, Daddy will go now. Take care of yourself. Don't worry." Qin Shu patted his daughter's hand. "Wait for Daddy to bring them back." Pudding nodded happily. "Su Yu." Qin Shu turned around and was about to speak. Su Yu immediately waved his hand. "I know. I'll take care of Pudding. Go and be careful." Chapter 1998. "See, listen to me. Humin helped me a lot these past few years. Every time I was bullied, she would stand up for me. She even found me a job and gave me money. She really helped me a lot. She's not as bad as you think." "Forget it, sis. Wake up. She'll be good to you. If she was good to you, you wouldn't be where you are today. She's rich and lives in South Hill Manor. What about you? You and your daughter live in a rented apartment that's less than 50 square meters. She eats all kinds of delicacies. What about you? You eat the cheapest bento boxes every day. She enjoys life, but you work so hard to make a living. Think about it. Who put us in this situation? If you didn't conspire with Huasichin back then, would we be like this? We're already the high and mighty young master and young mistress of the Hua family. Can you wake up a little?" Huasi thought that Hua Yin was bewitched by Hua Min, so she kept speaking up for her enemy. "See, I'm awake. You're the one who's not awake. You're the one who's blinded by hatred. Think about it. You're not even Dad's son. Dad was the one who imprisoned you and Mom. He was disappointed in you and didn't care about me. This has nothing to do with Hua Min. If you want to talk about the family assets, it was Hua Xiqian who did it. Don't hurt the innocent. See, even you're laughing at me? You think I'm a bastard?" Huasi stared at Hua Yin with bloodshot eyes. "That's not what I meant. I just stopped talking. Men, take her and her daughter to the car. I need to take care of things here." "Okay, big brother." His subordinates nodded and took Hua Yin and her daughter away. "See, we have to hurry. That brat ran away. I think the pursuers will be here soon. We don't have time. Ruan Qingqing looked at her watch and reminded Huasi. He picked up his phone and called Qin Shu. Since he had already been exposed, then there was no need to be afraid that he would be able to trace his whereabouts because of the call. At that moment, Qin Shu was driving a sports car and was about to arrive. Hello. He put on his earphones. Qin Shu, you still have a daughter and a wife in my hands. What do you want? I don't care what method you use. 1 billion international check, I want it now. No problem. You have to guarantee the safety of my wife and daughter. She's in my hands. You have no right to negotiate with me, Huasi said viciously. In short, I have to ensure the safety of my wife and daughter. Otherwise, you won't get a single cent. Qin Shu tried to calm Huasi down as he drove. He was extremely anxious. On the bus of the Municipal Bureau, Chief Gao, Mr. Qin is missing. Gone? What do you mean? He probably didn't follow your plan and went to save them himself. This guy is too stupid. Huasi and his men came prepared. It's dangerous for him to go alone. Hurry up and set up a checkpoint at the intersection to stop him. Gao Ran was extremely anxious. It's too late. They'll be here soon. Gao Ran was speechless. See, let's get out of here. Otherwise, it'll be too late. Ruan Qingqing urged Huasi. They had successfully obtained the cash and check that Huasi Qian transferred to them. Huasi Qian was on the verge of death after being beaten up by Huasi. The knife wound on his leg was still bleeding profusely. However, his eyes never left Huamin. He was afraid that Huasi would suddenly attack Huamin. Huamin didn't even have the heart to look at Huasi Qian. He hugged his daughter and comforted her. Don't be afraid. Daddy will come and save us soon. Chapter 1999. See, stop wasting time. Let's go. Ruan Qingqing carried a suitcase full of US dollars that she got from Huasi Qian, as well as hundreds of millions worth of international checks. All she wanted was to leave this place, but Huasi was still thinking about how to get his revenge. Wait, Qingqing, I'm going to give him a big gift. Then Huasi took out a black suitcase from the corner. He took out 2 black boxes from the suitcase. He tied them to Huamin and Little Bean, then separated them. Huasi, what are you trying to do? Huamin was already very weak. Even his voice sounded weak. You'll understand. You should thank me because I'm going to give your husband the biggest problem of his life. Then, you'll see if he cares about you the most. After Huasi laughed viciously, he walked up to Huasi Qian. He raised the dagger in his hand and slashed Huasi Qian's wrist. The sharp blade cut deeply into Huasi Qian's artery, and blood immediately poured out. It was very scary. Little Bean was so scared that she started crying. Mommy, I'm so scared. Little Bean witnessed this cruel scene with her own eyes. Huasi's methods were indeed cruel. Bastard, kill me if you can. Huasi Qian weakly lay on the ground. I won't kill you. That'll make you feel too good. I'll make you bleed bit by bit and wither bit by bit. You'll even feel the feeling of your body being sucked dry. In the end, you'll be like a mummy and die from excessive bleeding. The best part is that you know you're going to die little by little, but you can't do anything because no one can save you, psycho. Huamin couldn't help but curse at Huasi after hearing what he said. What on earth did Huasi go through in just 4 years? What made him so violent? He was inhumane. How could he do something so extreme to Huasi Qian in front of child? Shut up. I'm in this state because of you guys. Even if you and Huasi Qian die 1,000 times, it won't be enough to quell the pain and hatred in my heart. It's about time. Enjoy yourselves. By the time you guys get blown to pieces, I'll probably be on the other side of the Pacific Ocean, sunning myself and drinking coffee, Then Huasi and Ruan Qingqing left, and his subordinates slowly. Huamin, Little Bean, and Huasi Qian were left in the factory. Suddenly, the world, Huaman, Huamian of her. I'm fine, but you're bleeding a lot. For the first time, Huamian forgot about her hatred towards Huasi Qian. Instead, He tried to crawl over to Huasiqian and stop the bleeding. I'm fine, I won't die. Don't move. What's on you and the child is a ticking time bomb. If you move, it'll go off at any time. Huasiqian warned Huamin not to move too much. What? Oh my God, it's a ticking time bomb? Sob. Mommy, am I going to be blown to pieces? This is too scary. I don't want to die. I want to see Daddy and Sis, sob. Little Bean started crying again when she heard that it was a ticking time bomb. Chapter 2000. Huami knew full well that Huasi wouldn't put in so much effort to install a listening device on her. She didn't even need to think to know that it was a custom-made bomb. I don't think it's the kind that can be detonated at any time. There's probably a trigger. Huamian, on the other hand, wasn't afraid. She moved her body step by step, and finally, she crawled to Huasiqian's side. She used her mouth to remove a piece of cloth from her neck and tossed it to Huasiqian. Hurry up and bandage it. We have to stop the bleeding from your wrist, or else your life will be in danger. Seeing that Huasiqian's blood was about to turn into a river, Huamin only wanted to save him. It was purely a medical worker's instinct. She didn't have time to think about all the grudges between them. Mian, if I die, will you miss me? Huasiqian didn't take the cloth. She tilted her head and looked at Hua Min's handsome face with a pale face. Is there any point in saying this at a time like this? Hua Min frowned and said faintly, Of course, to me, your answer is the most meaningful thing. Tell me, if I die, will you think of me? Even if it's just for a moment. Huasiqian forced a smile. Hua Min paused. Maybe not, I don't know. To be honest, Hua Min was conflicted. On one hand, she hated Huasiqian to the core because he did many things to hurt her and Qin Chu. On the other hand, Huasiqian was extremely protective of her. In order to prevent Huasi from hurting her, he was willing to provoke Huasi. In the end, he ended up in this horrible state. As long as one was human, they would have compassion. Hua Min was at a loss when faced with someone who had persecuted him time and time again and saved him time and time again. Fine. Although I'm not satisfied with your answer, I know you're sincere. Huasiqian turned around. With great difficulty, he picked up the piece of cloth and wrapped it around his wrist to stop the bleeding according to Hua Min's instructions. Hang in there. My husband will come to save us soon. Hua Min looked at Huasiqian, who was starting to lose focus. Your husband saved you, not us. Hua Mian remained silent after hearing this. Besides, Qin Chu wanted to kill me anyway. If he comes, I'll be free. I just hope that he'll let me die a quick death. Huasiqian's consciousness began to blur, probably because he had too many wounds and too much blood. His voice was also extremely soft. He only felt cold, sleepy, and a little tired. I'm a little cold. Hua Min's heart sank. His hands were tied, or else he would have found something to cover him with. Mian, I'm a little sleepy. I want to sleep. Huasiqian, listen to me. You can't sleep. Listen carefully. If you sleep now, you won't be able to get up. You'll die and never wake up again. You have to hang in there, okay? Hua Min was extremely anxious. He kept shouting until his throat was sore. Huasiqian struggled to turn his head and stare at Hua Min's handsome face. He deliberately teased him. Okay, then I won't sleep. Give me a kiss, Huasiqian said playfully. Chapter 2001. Hua Min was speechless. What's with that look on your face? I was just teasing you, silly girl. Hua Min's face was covered in tears. Although Huasiqian was a big bad guy, and she wanted him to die, she didn't want him to die. However, she still couldn't accept seeing him die in front of her. As a doctor, although she should have been indifferent to life and death, she still couldn't accept it. It would be the cruelest thing in the world for someone she was familiar with to die bit by bit in front of her eyes like the stars in the sky. Mian, talk to me. I don't want to sleep. Okay, I'll talk to you. Hua Min was out of breath from crying. Seeing her mommy talking to the big bad guy, Little Bean didn't dare to cry anymore. At this moment, she calmed down. Mian, do you know what I was thinking when you were sentenced to death in prison? No. Huamin shook his head. Then, I'll take you and leave this place. We'll go to a small island in the Pacific Ocean and build a beautiful manor there. It's like spring all year round, facing the ocean and blooming flowers. The house has a Chinese-style design that you like. The front yard is filled with lavender, and the back garden is filled with red roses. There's a fountain, a pavilion, and a small bridge over flowing water. There's also a small vegetable garden where we can grow our own vegetables and eat them ourselves. The two of us will live a carefree life there, isolated from the rest of the world. Only the two of us. You only have me in your heart, and I only have you in my heart. We'll grow old there, give birth to our own children, and spend the rest of our lives there. Huasiqian struggled to finish his sentence. Huamin was still sobbing uncontrollably. That's a beautiful dream, Huamin said as he cried. Huamin thought that a person like Huasiqian would have a dark heart and wouldn't have a beautiful dream. However, Huamin could imagine the scene he just described. Every scene was a waste of time and was the most beautiful thing in the world. It turned out that a person like Huasiqian also had a beautiful dream. However, that person had to be Huamin. Mian, I've never loved someone so much before, but I love you so much. I fell in love with you earlier than Qin Shu and deeper than Su Yu, but I'm the most pitiful person in the world. I can't even get your pity. Your smile is a luxury to me. I can't accept it. I really can't accept it. Huasiqian coughed violently. He couldn't accept it. You're wrong. Huasiqian, love isn't something you can predict or prepare for. It has nothing to do with sooner or later. I just fell in love with Qin Shu. No matter how early or late he came, he'll always be the love of my life. You, on the other hand, don't have nothing. There are so many people who love you, but you don't know how to cherish them. Huamin tried to persuade Huasiqian. Love me? Who are those people you're talking about? Mo Shui and Yin Ruashi. I can only say that their love, in my opinion, is cheap. Huasiqian sneered. No, as long as you truly love someone, there's no such thing as cheap. You say that you love me, but you've done a lot of things to hurt me. In my opinion, if you truly love someone, you won't have the heart to hurt them. So you never hurt me, so I've always treated him as an important friend in my life. I've done so much just to be with you. Mian, in my life, I only have one wish. I'm not greedy. Huasiqian's eyes dimmed. He looked at Huamin with deep love and even a hint of humility. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.